What's going on? What's going on? We still got about 4 minutes. Let me bring up this window here. Where are you at? Hey, hello. What's going on, lover? Just give me a second. I'm trying to find my freaking oh, there, window capture. Got it. There we go. Yeah, we still got about 4 minutes. That gives time people to start piling in so I can put out some information, because we definitely got information to put out. What the crap? Oh, there it is. All right, there. That way I didn't sneeze on freaking camera. All right, everything looks like it's working. Good to go, good to go. What's up? Oh, I guess I should tell everybody we're live, huh? All right. Oh, I'm good, brother. I'm good. It's just been busy, man. Very, very busy. But you know what? It's good. It keeps me from getting bored. Uh-oh. What did I do here? There we go. Add you to the list, right? Well, I tell you what, man. There is a lot of drama going on right now in the Smite world, dude. I was gonna wait for more people to start piling in. We got about 5 joining us right now. People are just figuring out that we're live. But I'm very interested to hear what they're gonna tell us today, man. Because I don't know if you guys already seen this or not. Hi-Rez just did a bunch of firing, dude. A whole crap ton of people at Hi-Rez got fired. And some of these people had been with the company, from what I understand, like 10 years.
Days never finished.
So
Master got me working. Someday Master set me free.
yeah, right? That's how I feel sometimes. What's up, UK Paul? So yeah, dude, I'm very interested to hear what they say today. Let me make sure my noise canceling's off so I ain't yelling at you people. Yeah, it is. But yeah, dude, so a bunch of people ended up getting fired. And the sad part about it is some of these people didn't even realize that there were cuts being made until they saw it on their frickin' x.com feed. The CEO sent out a frickin' tweet. I guess he was trying to, you know, do it before the first person he fired ended up tweeting and letting everybody know. Dude, that's such a dirty way to find out, though. So yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. Supposedly they're having some big tournament in Vegas in January, I think it is, for a $300,000 purse for Smite 2. And from what I understand, that's still a go. I haven't seen anything that canceled that yet. But dude, how can you have a tournament that's going to give $300,000 to, you know, a team, and on the other hand fire people that's been loyal to your company for over 10 years? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't understand that, dude. I mean, I guess it's business, but I mean, 300,000 probably could have saved at least 2 people's jobs for a couple years, maybe even more. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know anything about that CEO, but he sounds like a jackass to me. Yeah, and I'm sure that they'd let him know, you know, one-on-one, but a lot of the people weren't even told yet. So, I mean, worst part is to see something like that on on x.com, and then like, oh man, am I gonna be one of the ones? Hey, what's up, Kev? I'm gonna be one of the ones that getting fired. You don't know, right? And then all of a sudden, you know, because you saw it on Twitter, you're like, well, am I gonna get? And then the next day you get that email, can you come see me, man? And you're like, ah, damn. Okay, here we go. I'll let it go because the music is gonna end up giving me a copyright strike, so I gotta wait until their stupid music's done. I'll turn off my music though. Where are we at? All right, there. Yeah, once it's done playing, I'll turn on the volume. I'm very interested to see what these people are gonna say. Glad to see you live. Yeah, dude. We'll see this update. See what they're gonna tell us here.
What's up, everybody? My name is Titan Dandy, and welcome to another Smite 2 update show. Still crazy to get to say that. So this is the CA3
Why is it
update
so low?
show, and there's a lot to talk about today. And as always, I couldn't do it alone. I'm joined by two of the greatest people that I know, Alex and AJ. How are y'all?
Hello.
Doing okay. Yeah.
Doing okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, it's just his
obviously,
mic that's bad.
there's been a lot going on this week.
Dude, when
It's
they do
been-
that with the crappy mics, it screws me up.
Exercise my candor.
I think
been a
it's
rough
my
week,
system, but it's them.
But there's a lot going on, a lot of changes, and I think we
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to start
them.
today's show by kind of talking
It's
about
him.
some of what's happened and some of
Or
what
him.
to expect in the future. So
This fool right here.
For
Hey.
that, how about we pass it to Alex and let him go over some stuff.
Yeah.
They need to turn on his amp.
You know, I think, if you're watching the update show, you probably have been following along with what's been going on this week, and it's been a tough week, right? I think it's been really hard for everybody here. Losing some really good people that known, been friends with for a decade. But
Yeah.
I don't want to spend too much time focusing on the past. I think that there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
Should be coming through
that
better
I wanna
now,
share
right?
with people today.
Yeah.
The one thing that I really want to say to the community, if you're watching, thank you to those of you that there was kind of an outpouring of support for the people affected, and I think we all really appreciate that. Both the people that were affected and those of us that are still here, coming to work every day to do everything we can to make Smite 2 amazing because we love this game, right?
Yeah.
Like.
And for those that don't know what he's talking about, a whole bunch of people got fired in the last couple of
Anyway,
days.
I really want to talk about where we're going with Smite 2. And
There's a lot of change on the way.
there's a lot of change on the way. And I know that like when something
Right,
like this
you can't
happens,
fall.
there's a lot of concern about like, who's even still there? Are there enough people to keep working on the game?
Yeah.
We have, I think, a very aggressive, very good schedule that will hopefully address a lot of your concerns. So,
Hopefully, yeah.
so I'm gonna go through that now. And I apologize. I'm looking now because I have my notes on my phone just to make sure that I don't forget to say anything because
Of course, yeah.
I am a little bit scatterbrained today. Okay, so the first thing, we've been spending
We don't know,
since
Kev.
since early closed alpha,
Yeah.
or we've been reading all of your posts, we've been listening to all of your feedback, we've been watching your streams and everything. And I think for what we've gathered is that given the state of the game right now, there's kind of 4 key issues facing Smite 2. There's not enough content. Specifically, there are not enough gods.
Hear that one a lot, yeah.
There's not enough quality, right? Ranging from some core gameplay feel issues to specific bugs to matchmaking. It's one that comes up a lot,
Yeah.
right? Number 3 is that we're not moving fast enough to address these things, and you don't feel like the game's improving quickly enough. And number 4 is that we're not talking to you enough about the things that we are doing to improve the game and making you feel and believe that we are addressing these things. So today I want to talk about those 4 issues and how we're addressing those. But first I want to kind of talk about the core issue that led us to this in the first place. To sound like a broken record, Smite 2 is an alpha. We've said very publicly, this game is an alpha. There's an alpha tag on the thing, and we've expected you as the players to treat it like an alpha.
And
but I'm
understand
not
what the
sure
hell an
that
alpha
we,
is.
as a dev team, have treated it enough like an alpha from our dev calendar perspective.
Days never finished.
And
Yes, they got
we're a
me
team that spent
working.
a
Someday
decade
master
running
set
a
me free.
tightly tuned ship where I would know today what's going to ship a year from now.
Yeah.
And it's all about very precise plans of exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to deliver on a timeline. And I think, though, we kind of tried to like, we'll be more dynamic
Smite
and we'll be
1
more
was the most
flexible
profitable
and
game that
we'll,
they
we'll
had.
listen to the community. And
Smite
you've seen
1
some
was actually
examples
their
of doing
cash
that.
cow.
I don't think we've gone enough in that way. I think we've been a little bit stuck in the old ways of the way we were running the game.
They took our jobs.
This is going to sound
You know what? I'm
probably
gonna
pretty
make
silly to
that
everybody
one.
listening, but we had a
They
really
took
big
our
conversation
jobs.
before we went into closed alpha, where for years and years, Smite 1 has been on an every 4-week patch cycle.
Oh yeah, years.
Yeah, and we were like, cool. And we're like, you know what? I think we could get to 3. I think that's so much faster. The players are going to love it if we patch every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And now that we've been doing it for a little while, we're like, that's ridiculous. Like, we can't do that. We can't keep patching every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I think generally we know we need to move faster with more urgency. We need to communicate more. And going forward, we're going to be much more open about like what we're working on, and how we're addressing things and whatnot. But the one thing I want to say is that before I launch into everything else is that because we're being more open, because we're telling you more about like our early plans, I ask that you give us a little bit of grace if things change, because the further something out is, the more likely it is to change. But we want to start sharing things with you earlier so we can get your feedback and whatnot.
In life, right?
You gotta be
But
quicker
things
than
will
that.
change. But the
Actually, there's
promise
one
from me
thing
following
that's
up on
better
that is that
than
we're going to
entrepreneur,
communicate
and
better
that's
when things do change. So it's
retired.
not like we're saying, here's the roadmap and it's immutable and this is exactly what we're going to do going forward.
Yeah.
It's here's the direction we want to move in. Do
But
you guys agree with
entrepreneur is
us?
second.
Cool.
Or
Then we're going to
business
go
owner,
in
right?
that direction. If you don't, then we'll modify from there. So what exactly is changing? With enough preamble, because I can ramble for forever.
Yeah. Let's get into the meat.
Okay, so there's not enough content. We have recently reworked our schedule
Pretty majorly. Yeah.
pretty majorly, with the aim of currently there are 25 games or 25 gods in Smite 2.
Yeah.
Our goal is to effectively double that roster by January. So
I'm an influence.
we're hoping to get to around 50 gods by January. And there
Or
are
an influencer.
a lot of kind of the heavy hitter gods that you've told us should be there from the start on that list, like Ra and Poseidon and Thor and Khepri and yada yada, right?
Yeah.
And so our entire dev like content team has been pivoted to working on gods. A lot of our programming and design teams have been pivoted to working on how do we make this happen. So we're going to be moving a
Yeah.
lot faster to
DK
get more.
Paul, freaking garbage
to get.
CC, man.
I want to give the little disclaimer that even though we're being more nimble, we can't just flip on a switch overnight, right? So, and there's things have to go through the pipe at different phases before we can get them into the game. So
they were just gave us our
this
auto
update,
builds, they
there are
wouldn't be
two
in this
gods in
me-
it.
in
There
this
are
mess, would
Baron
they?
Samedi and Umoja. So you're going to be, we're going to be showing you those in a minute. And then the next update will also have two gods. And then after that update is when you'll start seeing a faster pace of gods coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we get to 50 or so, we're probably going to slow back down to like 2 or 3 every 3 weeks. It's
Which
kind of a
makes
rough
sense.
cadence for you guys to keep in mind. Just because we'll be at a point where we want to do some gods that are more technically or artistically difficult for us, and we just won't be able to keep moving at that pace.
Yeah.
I would love it if we could just, get all the gods done in 6 months. That'd be great.
After
But that's
this
that's
stream,
not
I will tell you
feasible
exactly where
once we
I
get through this
personally think that
initial
they
push to
screwed up
50.
and how they
so,
could've
but our goal is to
did
double
way
the
better.
god roster to 50 by January. And January is an
Whoever's
important
running
month
the
to us,
ship-
just kind of as a little bit of context, because we kind of always
Half the
see
bed,
January
dude.
as a new
Big time.
season
I think they
moment
made
for
a very
Smite
big
and
mistake.
Smite 2, and a time when we ship bigger changes to, shake up Conquest and, all that kind of stuff. There's some other bigger systems that we're kind of planning for January right now that I don't want to talk about yet. We are going to be more open about stuff, but I don't
Yeah,
want to
the
go
leadership
into every
screwed up
detail
big
on the
time,
show
man,
right now.
if they're even considered leadership.
And we also have Vegas
We'll
happening in
talk about it after the
January.
stream. I don't wanna
so just
miss
we're trying to make sure the game is in a really good spot for that. The other note I have on the gods that we have in the game right now is that we have 25 gods in the game right now, but a lot of our data is showing us that you're seeing the same 10 gods in every game, or 12 gods. There's about half of the
5
roster is
gods.
really being played right now, and that's making the problem of not enough gods feel worse than it even is. So we need to do a better job of balancing and being responsive on balancing, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. There's obviously a lot of other features that we need to get done by January, and I'm not going to go into all those as well right now. We're going to talk more about that stuff later. But I just want to specifically talk about gods because that is a core issue with the community that we are actively working to address.
They need something.
Okay, number 2,
man.
there's not enough quality. So we are,
They need to activate
in
their
addition to doing all these
alternate
gods, we're
timeline. That's what they
focusing
need.
more on the quality of the game. We currently have 3 or 4 programmers, depending on the week, dedicated specifically to improving the core game quality going forward, fixing bugs and core feels issues, not adding new features. We also have a separate engineer who started this week, dedicated solely to improving the matchmaking algorithm and whatnot.
Nice.
So we should be seeing matchmaking improvements, not when CA3 launches, which I'm going to talk about that in a second, but during the CA3 update, we should see especially ranked matchmaking updates that take into account SR as a matchmaking factor. The last thing I want to say specifically on quality, and I know it's kind of a light one, but it's hard to go into too much detail in that other than we understand it's an issue when we're fixing it. Specifically on gameplay feels things. There's a lot of kind of these recurring things that we hear from the community about like basic attacks don't feel good, or hitting certain abilities doesn't feel satisfying.
Quantify that
right?
to fix it, you know?
And
you have to get specific feedback.
We want to hear more of that feedback about what's not good about the core game in your experience. Yeah. And we would love to get as specific of feedback as we can from you about like,
it don't feel good.
Is this something that you're experiencing only on specific gods? Is this something that you're experiencing more on higher ping or low frame rates? Is this something that you're always experiencing? But it is one of our core goals to make sure that Smite 2 feels like amazing and buttery smooth, and there's nothing that you can look back at and say, this is just worse than Smite 1, right? It has to be better, at least as good, and hopefully better in every way. So please, as much direct like feedback you can give us, like even if it's like
for yourself.
It's not playing the just recently we realized it's not playing a certain death animation for minions.
That was a good one.
Right now, every minion when they die has the same death animation, and there are several different death animations that play in Smite 1, so it makes it more satisfying to kill a wave of minions. And that's not updated in CA3. That's just something we noticed yesterday.
Yeah,
but like
funny.
Any little observation like that you have of something that like it's just not as good, it doesn't feel as good because of this reason, please tell us. We want to hear that because we notice a lot of these things, and a lot of them are on our list already. But don't assume that we know everything, because like I believe we will build a better game working together.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things where you pull from the pros or from the people who have played for 5 years, the type of thing that you might not be able to think of off the top of your head, but you say, I've
you know
played
what? I think they fired their sound guy. They probably have somebody that they train how to do the soundboard, because you can't hear crap, and it's their mic, it's not mine.
Explain what it is, but just saying, hey, I
played
a ton of on horse, something about his auto attack does not feel right. That gives us an area to look. So that's a great area where we lean on y'all long time.
They need to boost his mic.
Anyway, yeah.
Cool. Point number 3 is that we're not moving fast enough, right?
His is fine.
We're going to be moving faster. I think especially in an alpha, it sucks to think that you are going to be playing with the same broken balance and the same bugs for 3 weeks until we can patch again.
Yeah.
So we're currently in the process of we're currently building a new kind of sub-team of the team specifically focused on live patches. And we're expecting that several times a week, I don't want to commit to exactly how much, but several times a week, we're going to be patching the game to fix, to do some changes to balance and to address some bugs.
Yeah.
These updates will not be as large as what we're now calling major updates, which will still happen every 3 weeks. And those are the things that'll have new gods.
Welcome to the party.
They'll have new, new modes when we get to those, and big new systems. Because just from a development standpoint, it's better for us to be building those on kind of a separate version of the game, so that kind of like the in development stuff doesn't get into live and break things in live. But we do want to be shipping very regular balance and bug fixes, so people aren't waiting for the game to get better in the same way they have been recently. I'll say some of those will be coming in the form of like server updates, so you won't necessarily need to download anything even to get these. But we are going to communicate better about when these come out and what has been fixed, and hopefully you'll be able to see the game getting better as we address balance and bugs during the course of a major update. Cool. Yeah, we just want to be showing you that we're constantly improving and that we're moving better. And I think as a very early example of us being willing to move a little bit faster on things and not be stuck in this cadence that we were before. Yeah. If you're trying to log into Smite 2 right now, you might notice that the servers are down. The servers are down because we are going to be releasing CA3 as soon as this show is over. So we want you guys to start playing now, so we can get feedback now, so we can start making it better now.
CA3 might be
and if there are things that we need to patch, or if there's
I guess we'll find
bad
out
bugs,
here in
or
a
if the
minute.
balance is bad or something, well, try and get to that tomorrow. And if we don't get to it tomorrow, we'll get to it on Monday, right? Like we're going to be patching very regularly to address these issues as they come up. So hopefully you guys are excited and you are going to have fun playing CA3 later today.
Yeah, it sounds like we're
okay.
getting
Last thing from my
today.
really overly long preamble. I'm sorry, I'm talking way too long. Which is kind of amusing because my next point is that we're not talking to you enough. Sorry, that was totally unplanned. So, in a alpha period
up,
like this,
Hercules?
it's really important that it's not just enough that we're working on all these
They're
things
making me
behind the
that.
scenes and
They
we're
need to
fixing
make
them and
me
we have a
the
plan
CEO,
and yada,
dude.
yada, yada.
I'll fix this game in a heartbeat,
We
son.
need to be more
I'll
actively
crack that
engaged
whip.
with you, the community, because you're the whole reason why we're making this game. I mean, I enjoy playing Smite myself, but so I'm partially doing it for
Yeah, he's
myself, I guess,
talking
but
in
mostly
circles.
it's for the community, right?
Dude,
so
I can get this
Isaiah
game
and
on-
I are
on
going to be
board
starting
quickly,
a new show.
It's just project
so,
management,
3
really.
times a
They
week,
need
Monday, Wednesday,
somebody
Friday. I think
air
at
traffic
2
control these people.
PM. I don't remember what time now. I didn't write it down. I'm sure we'll tweet about it. But Isaiah and I are going to do a show about an hour long, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, specifically just to talk about like community issues, what we're seeing, except for 1 o'clock, says the person in my ear. To take feedback, to address your questions, to talk
We'll
about major
talk about
issues in
this
the
after the
community,
stream, 'cause I
and
got
also
some
to bring
ideas for
on
these fools.
other devs and show and
They
tell the
made
things they're
one
working on, right?
gigantic
we've said that
mistake
we're working on a new
that's
Jazz
screwing
map,
over
right?
high-res
Like
right
we might
now.
have our environment folks on.
They have time to
show
fix
off the
it.
current state of it and get your guys' thoughts on like, hey, are we on the right path, right? A lot of people want to know more about matchmaking. Like Max will be on one of the shows to talk about matchmaking. Ben, our art director, has said, dude, I'd love to be on a show and show off some of the models that we're working on for the upcoming gods, right? So we just want to be more active and more engaged with you because we're not doing a good enough job right now, right? Like I think back to the early days of Smite 1 Alpha when, when I was just a player, I didn't work here, right? And I would watch like Bart and Kelly, stream, and Erez would like walk into the room and
Both of
wreak
who are
havoc.
probably fired now.
Hopefully that won't be happening. But regardless, I think that there's something that we're missing about this kind of like very regularly connection with the players, just like reading Twitch chat and talking to people. So we're going to be doing that 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think you named the show Titan Talk. I don't know. We're still working on the name.
That was my pitch for it. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just part of us being better communicators, and hopefully you'll see us more communicative everywhere. And yeah, we're really excited about the future. Hopefully you guys are excited about it. Just to summarize things that I just talked about, we're going to be
we're excited
trying to
about
ship
it, dude. We're
50 gods
we're
by January,
anxious about it now.
which is
Is
twice
there
what
even
we
gonna
have right
be
now.
a future?
We're focusing more on quality.
You know
We
what
have more
I'm saying?
developers focused just on
The hell is he talking about?
fixing the quality and not working on new features, including matchmaking and bugs and whatnot. We're going
There's
to
a
be
chance that
doing
this
more
game could
regular
die
updates.
before it even gets
so we'll
brought
still
to
be doing the
life.
major updates every 3 weeks with new gods and whatnot. But then between updates, we'll have very regular patches with balance and bug fixing. And last, we're going to be doing this this not update show. This kind of just like sit and talk with the dev show 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with myself and Isaiah and guests who are more interesting than me. And that's enough of a preamble because we have a lot of exciting things to talk about before you can play CA3 in just a few minutes here.
Literally
So,
today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
No, that was very good, and yeah, no need to keep going on that. I think he said everything. There's a lot that's been going on. I think I usually don't like to do this, but I feel confident I speak for everybody here at the studio when I say that this week has weighed heavy on our minds and will continue to for a while. But if there's one thing that I know for sure that I still see every day and I still see talking to people in the hallway and everything, it's that
Yeah, they finally fixed
we
this
just
mic.
effing love Smite. I had to stop
They
myself.
texted
almost said a
the
bad
old
word.
audio guy
We
they
love
just fired.
Smite
Hey, man, how do
so
we fix
much.
this
It is
mic?
incredible. Like, and our primary goal is to just make Smite 2 the best thing that Smite has ever been, and we're going to do that with y'all, and it's going to be incredible.
Dude, I'm telling you right now,
Right now,
if
what's that?
I
Smite
just
2
looked at chat
fails,
and they said we should
Hi-Res
name the
is going
show
bankrupt.
Smite 2.
There's no doubt
which
in
is
my mind. If
awful.
if
We aren't
Smite
gonna do
2
that. That just
flops,
made me crack up. So
Hi-Res
very good.
Mods, put that
cease
person in
to
the femur
exist.
snapper, please. All right, so we have CA3 coming out today because we wanted to move faster, and that was the first step, was to just, who needs next Tuesday? Let's just do it today. So let's talk about some of what y'all can expect literally later today at the end of the show in CA3.
All right, go.
Starting with some Conquest. So we got AJ back there driving the
Oh,
computer. What's changing in Conquest, AJ?
All right, so first thing we've got in Conquest is updated objective, the Warhorn.
The Warhorn.
So the Warhorn is being updated well, woohoo the Warhorn, because
Woohoo the
rip the
Warhorn.
Warhorn.
Yeah, that's the
maybe
exciting
they'll talk
part.
about
Warhorn is
Arena
being
for a
updated
change,
to
right?
have the Totem of Coup.
The
They
totem.
might say the dirty word.
Instead.
People
Yes.
like the totem. I like.
So there's some extra rules here about the totem. It's stuff that any Smite fan should be familiar with. I'm not going to read over all of it. I think the important note is that additionally, the totem will also spawn the Warhorn champion minions. So let's look at it. Here's the totem. It's back. As you attack it, it will fill up. You can see my
It's
blue
dropping
side
bones.
is fill up. Yeah,
Make
the
sure
bone.
that-
The bones are a little excessive
bone
right
parts
now.
are effects are a little
Jacked up or
excessive.
mine?
We need more bones.
Make sure
Who
I
doesn't
got
like some
1080p.
excessive
There we go.
your video.
I remember
I
that from
ordered my
last
totem with
time.
no bones in
Twitch
it.
likes to start at 720.
Yeah, you know,
There
I think we
goes.
just we
Nicer
heard
now.
people say that like they liked fighting over the totem in the solo lane from Smite 1, and I think it was a more interesting objective than the Warhorn that we had previously. This is not to say that we are not going to experiment with new things, that we just care about bringing over things from
That's
Smite
why I
1.
hate Twitch
But I think
streaming,
we
dude.
ran the
It
experiment
always
of the
looks like
Warhorn and people
crap
said,
'cause the
hey,
bit rate
let's
is
play
so
with the totem
capped.
for a while. And if you guys play with the
That's
totem
what
for a
my
patch or
streams
two
look, oh,
and you don't
nice
like
and
it, then we'll
crisp
try
on
something else,
YouTube.
right? That's the point of being in an alpha. This is an experimentative phase of the game.
Yeah, so this is something we know people have been asking for, but also we're making these modular pieces, right, that we can use in the game in a variety of ways. So, yeah, expecting some interesting feedback from the solo laners, and the totem being now the way you capture the Warhorn effectively, right? It's not just the totem. You're using a totem style objective to capture the totem, or capture the Warhorn.
Nice.
We've got some jungle buff updates. Let's see. We got all the patch notes here. We're going to look over it, but I'm not going to read off everything. I know some people on Twitter wish I would read everything. I won't read everything.
Dandy says go to live patch notes on smite2.com/news now.
Yeah, and I think this is, you know, another thing that we're doing differently,
Garza
right? Is that
says,
like
we don't give
you
a
know,
crap
we're
about
just scrolling through the
conquest,
patch
get
notes
to
and
arena.
talking through them with you guys. This is less of a produced show. Maybe I mean, like obviously we still have our amazing production team who's running the show, but we're trying to be a little bit less formal than we have been in the past, and we're just like, hey, we're talking through this stuff with you guys, and let's look at it together, right?
So what this section essentially says is purple buff is now going to be a little bit more of a
The funny
carry
thing
buff.
about
it's
it
getting
is, even some
longer
of the
duration for
top
the buff.
conquest
It's going
streamers,
to no longer
like
do this like
Weaken
stacking effects
and,
that did big
Icon
damage to
or
objectives.
Incon,
Instead,
however you
going to
wanna
have
say his
life
name.
steal and then more
Dude,
life
these
steal.
people
So
have
it's a little
pretty
bit more
much
fitting
stopped
for
playing
hunters.
Smite 2.
Carries
They even
to pick
said
this
that
up.
Conquest Smite
We've got
2
another
is
really big
too
new feature
broken to
here.
even
So
be
if we're
fun
speaking
right
of something new,
Yes.
the totem being something from Smite 1, but that's something
old,
very
something new,
something
something
new.
borrowed, something
Base teleporters. So let's just go ahead and take a look at them.
That's not it. That's just backing.
Yeah,
We've
this
had
is
that
just
forever.
returning
Yeah,
to
this
base.
is how you return to base. But yeah, so you can
Please
see,
fast
you also
forward,
get a
right?
preview of some of our new player experience features, like telling me how to get to my lane. But here we have base teleport, and look, they let you see windows
You
into,
gotta remember,
into
Dan, these
the
guys get paid
lane.
by the hour, so
Yeah,
they don't know
these
they're gonna
are
be here tomorrow or not, so they
static
gotta get
images. They
paid.
don't
They gotta
update
get their money.
dynamically of
They gotta get their
what's going
ends,
on in the
man.
lane. So it's not a full like window into the lane, but it does kind of give you an idea of where you're going to end up.
That's so cool.
And you'll be able to activate these with the interact button. So
That's
when you
just
walk
wrong.
in space, spacebar, press the spacebar, and whoo, and this will fly you all the way to your tower, or you can right click to cancel early.
Oh, that's cool.
You want to go to a jungle buff. So these have a long cooldown.
Yes,
a very
that's,
long cooldown.
that is the most important part about this, is that it's not like you can just go back to base and use this to get out every 5 seconds or something, right? Like, it's not like Arena where you're running back to base all the time to heal, right? This is, so far in our internal dev test, there's actually been some really interesting like strategy that's popped up about like, when do you use this? When do you hold this? Like, do you actually use this where you like back to base and then you use it to get to a fight that's happening in the other lane rather than running across?
Right.
Like, there's some interesting things that can happen here, and we're interested to see how it goes. But yeah, sorry, AJ,
He
go for
said
it.
It's
the
got a
dirty
really
word.
long cooldown. Yeah, a really long cooldown, right? So it's
Yeah.
effectively like
They just
more
glossed
like a
over it,
teleport
right?
relic. It's not like a thing to come back with all the time. And there is a lot of unique strategic choices you can make with it, like being really heads up about what's going on in the map and specifically choosing not to use it so you can save it for a quick back later is probably one of the immediate skill ceiling
Uh-oh.
effects it adds. Like people who just use it on cooldown, when they get forced back, are then going to be really slow. Whereas if you can really pay attention to what's on the map, notice you're not going to lose any clear or lose any camps or miss a fight, you can go back from base
Oh, that
normally
was their feed, 'cause
and
I
then
have
use this the
0
next
drop
time if you get
frames.
poked out, recall, hit that. I've had a lot of fun with it from playing solo lane, recall to mid lane, go up the mid lane portal, boom, I'm in the fight really quick.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have any sort of teleport. effect. So yeah, it's something really interesting and new, and we're excited about it, but of course we'll adjust it as we go.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things, right? Like this is an all new feature. We're excited, but let's see how it goes, right? We want to see how it goes in live,
Hell yes.
and if the cooldown's too short,
you got that
if
right,
it
dude.
moves too
We've
fast
had the
getting out
number one
of
Smite
base.
Arena
Yeah, 210
channel for
seconds,
4
so a
years straight,
relic
right?
level cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got over
and if that's still not long enough, we can make it
arena
longer,
videos
right?
out there.
Or like I said, if the
I've
movement
brought
speed of your
thousands of
character while you're
people to
teleporting is
Smite
too fast, we can
just
slow
off
that
my
down, right?
arena
There's things that
videos.
we
I
can
know,
do
'cause
to
I've gotten the
balance
feedback,
it,
right?
but tell us how it feels, right?
And
Because
every time I send
what we
these
found
fools
is
feedback or
you know,
information,
it's
I never get a response.
it feels
for the
nice
last
to be
2
able
years,
to move around the
I've been
the
asking
world a little
for
bit
multiple
quicker
auto buys,
sometimes,
where you can do a
right?
drop down.
It's not
you
like,
can make like 3
you're
auto buys,
always
label,
flying around the
whatever
map,
you want to label,
but it gives you a little bit more
protection,
mobility
hide them, whatever.
around the map, which is kind of
So then when you get in the game, you can open up the shop and pick what auto buy you want.
and it'll help you a lot.
No feedback.
So we got a bunch more stuff
give 'em all
here.
kinds of feedback.
That's going to
I've
be a
never
couple of
gotten
more
not
interesting
one
mechanics and just some
response from
balance.
these people.
So we have some
But it is what it is,
late
man.
game
They responded. Some of them might still have a
comeback
job.
mechanics here with fire minions getting you additional gold. And phoenixes, if you successfully
Just
defend
saying.
your phoenix enough
I
for it
had
to
some good
respawn, you'll
ideas,
get some
man.
gold return. So
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
a
people,
shame.
when they feel like once you've lost one phoenix, the game's just
I
like
mean, we've
over.
only been playing arena.
So we have some
religiously
late
for the
game
last 5 years.
anti-snowball, which is kind of a unique thing we've never really tried before, and we're excited to see how that feels.
But
It's a pretty common thing
They're
to do.
just wrapped around the axle
Lopus,
with
by the way, in
conquest,
general.
man.
Yeah.
I guarantee
we have some
you,
other just tower
more
adjustments here. So
arena players
minotaurs are going
buy
to do
skins than
significantly
conquest
less
players.
damage to towers.
I
so
can
they
almost
won't be
guarantee.
so,
I don't have the numbers,
you know,
but
if
I would
essentially if you
put
push
money
one
on it
minotaur
that
into a
there's
tower with
more
some,
arena
maybe
players
with
that
some
buy
minions to defend it,
skins with
it'll kill the
gems
tower or take a
than freaking
significant amount of
conquest
damage.
I think those cows were better at pushing towers than some of my
Arenas
teammates.
was
man.
make
Like, they
make
just
some
Probably.
money.
It's
They think
ridiculous.
it's conquest
and
because that's their
this did come
esports, but it's
specifically
not,
from
dude. It's
ambassadors
arena.
and
It's what-
playtesters. This
gems
feedback
is
point.
what's making them money.
We've adjusted the Titans to properly regenerate their health, just like they did in Smite 1.
they made
just
arena more
as we're
fun.
rebuilding everything. So some stuff, some stuff
Random
gets prioritized
maps.
a little bit slower, and so
Freaking
people were calling out that this
multiple
wasn't the
auto-buy
same as Smite 1. Now
possibilities.
it's in.
I mean, there's
we've got some big changes
few
here to
things
the
they can
ancient
do.
theory.
Okay.
This is no
Don't even
longer
get me
going to
started,
apply
dude.
to all structures. It will only choose
I've
the
been harping
frontmost
this on these
structure in
fools
each
forever.
lane. So, this objective being just a little bit too all in. Now
And
it's
yeah,
more
I'm a Smite
specifically
partner,
lets
so
you
you
get
would
that
think
bonus
that they
each
would
lane.
listen to me,
And it's
but
also instead of
I
it's going
don't
to be
have
completely
100,000
disabled,
subscribers, right?
they're
So
just
I
going to be
only
heavily
got, like,
weakened.
barely-
So
I mean,
taking
hell,
quite
we
a
can't even
bit
barely
of
reach
like
6,000.
instant game overness
So I
out
guess I'm
of
not
the
big
ancient
enough
theory.
for them.
Still going to be
But
really
it's all good.
still really
now.
good.
So
meaningful.
Yeah.
But before it was like potentially just way too over the top end game situation, potentially overshadowing Fire Giant. Fire Giant himself removed the
Yeah,
protections
exactly.
rewards from the Fire Giant buff.
Nobody
This
likes
is just
being locked into a game for a
overwhelmingly
freaking
common
hour, dude.
pro feedback. This is one of
Little
those
too good.
things where maybe if you're a casual player, you're like, oh, I get a little bit harder to kill. and I
Ranked
do more-
arena. I've been
do more
asking
damage.
for
That
ranked
seems
arena.
fine.
That way, all
But
the tryhards go play
the way
ranked
protections
arena,
work in
so
Smite and
casuals,
granting
so I can at level
squishy DPS
160
players
or
any
159
amount of protections
can
is really,
play
really
with a
high
level
efficiency for
1,
them.
and
So
that
it's
level
just
1
really,
doesn't
really
get
strong.
drugged
Yeah.
by a bunch of
Essentially makes it
tryhard,
impossible to
sweaty
trade
CC teams
against
on comms,
squishy
you know what
versus
I'm saying?
squishy when one of them has
I've
a
been
fire
asking
giant.
for
So
that
removing
forever.
that. We have adjusted the kill spree
But
timer, and this will also
they're like,
affect the multi-kill
"Shut up,
timer, so
kid."
pentakills will be easier to get.
I'm like, all right,
now.
fine.
And
this
not-
is more
not-
accurate to match Smite 1.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Not easier than Smite 1, just easier than it is in Smite 2. Because
It was too hard. It was harder than
yes,
intended in
yes.
Smite 2.
Because in Smite 1, there's kind of this muscle memory where you expect oh, I should have gotten a double kill there, and you weren't getting it in Smite 2, and now it should match much better.
So then we have just
There you
we're
go,
going to talk
arena.
about some of the other new player features,
There
but
you
one
go.
of
We're
them
gonna
that
get
we
to
just
some
have right
arena.
here,
Let's see what they say.
which you can see.
No, because you did it, so it's done for the opening bit.
No, but there's other
yeah,
versions
sorry.
of
The
this.
funny,
so,
I mean, it's not funny. The
they're,
sad part is
these. So blue camp, red camp, this stuff. This
this
wasn't here before.
game
You can still
is
turn these
starting
on
to
with
die
options.
off in
but
the
that
way
stuff
of
wasn't here before.
viewership.
Yeah, and that
so
was
all the
it's a surprisingly
Smite
useful
content
new player
creators where
feature in
this
Smite
is their
1.
prime
So we're
way
glad
of
we got some of
making
those in
money. The
there.
only way of
There's
making
probably
money,
some more
they
that we
have
need,
all their eggs in this
but it's a good
basket.
first step,
Dude,
right?
they're
and then
hurting right now.
do we have a separate
There's
section
a
to
lot
talk
of
about the
content
path of that
creators
base
for
for
Smite.
new
They're
players?
hurting
Or
right
I think so. There's a whole new player section at
Okay,
the bottom.
I'll be quiet then. Thanks.
Arena.
That's what happens. That's why
so
I
I'm
have.
probably
That's
not
why I
going to
told
load
you.
into
That's why I
Arena
had
right
to
now,
diversify.
but
I
just a
saw
couple
this
of
coming, dude.
important
I saw
things.
this coming.
color and lighting pass.
That's why I started doing my cooking videos, my gamer food
feel for
videos,
the
and
whole
started
game, and the
reviewing
arena is a
other
good place
games.
to test that.
I mean, I'm still gonna be
I've
covering
already heard
Smite, of
really
course,
good
but-
feedback about this from the Flash
But
tests.
unlike
and
these
that
other
it's a
content
continual
creators,
improvement, and we're
I'm
still
retired,
making more.
dude. You know what I'm saying? I
more
got
improvements. So
investments I made
if this
throughout
goes
my
well, this will
life
be applied
that,
to other maps.
you know,
and this also
allows me
affects the
to
way the
do
characters
what I
light, the
like to
shadows,
do
the
and not have to
reflections,
worry
things like that.
about
So it's
paying
a
the
big
rent
change.
or
Yeah.
paying the
Keep an eye
light
out for it.
bill.
And I think, like, you know, I think you know,
some of
we
these
were
fools,
experimenting
man,
to try and
these
get the
young guys,
right
they don't
level
have that,
of
man.
like Smite 1 is a well lit game that
So,
is relatively
word
bright,
to
where
the
you can see
wise,
what's going
never
on all
put
the
all your
time
eggs
with
in one basket.
relatively vibrant colors. But what is the right level of all of those dials for Smite 2? You know, even if
Yeah,
we were,
I wouldn't doubt
at
it,
one
man.
point we did
And
just copy all those
those are
things
some
back
of
from
the
Smite
top
1, it still
guys
didn't
for
feel right. So
Conquest.
it's like, how do we tweak things and make them all
And
match up? Because
on
the
that
lighting works
note-
differently and the materials work differently in UE5. So
Make sure you guys
let us know
don't
what you
click
think.
off before the
So
end of the stream because I got some
actually
important information to
fixing
put out.
Bug where Arena Jungle Buff spawned too late, and we
For
are
some of
made
y'all,
some adjustments
especially
to
if
the
you're
way
on
tickets
PC
work to
player
make
that
it
have
more like Smite
Steam.
1.
Yeah,
All right,
you'll
now
be
let's
able to
getting
check
into
that
the
out.
core items section of the patch. So
What's
we're
up,
adding
Capper?
a new consumable, the multi potion, and this will allow you to stack that with the healing potion, so you get two different forms
Oh,
of
you
healing
didn't miss
running
much.
simultaneously.
You just
So
missed
this has always
that,
been a
a
big
good chunk of Hyra's got fired,
method of outplay potential
and
in the
that,
solo lane. Really
things
timing
are
those really carefully.
on
is good.
fire
That's
in
especially in the
Atlanta
solo
right
lane, but it can
now.
also be effective in early arena.
we
and other
probably
things
won't
like that,
see
so that's
Smite
exciting.
2 release.
We've
fully
also done
until probably
some
February.
health potion and health chalice adjustments. So we call this an adjustment, but it's really a nerf. There's just a very slight buff. It's a much slower regen now, from 10 seconds to 14 seconds. So I guess not much slower. We're not going all the way back to the full
Yeah,
25 seconds, I think it is in Smite 1, which is really slow.
Dude, I'm telling you right now,
But we like this being
if
a
I
little bit
was
more
a
dynamic and impactful.
bigger
but
content
just slowing it
creator,
down
if I
a
was
little bit,
making
and in order to get the
thousands of
numbers to even
dollars a
out,
month as a
you have to pick a
content
round
creator,
number. You got
I would be
210.
taking that
Yeah.
money and investing
mana
investing
regen,
in either real estate or
It
high
also
dividend
had a similar
funds.
adjustment.
Yeah.
And we also
Find
fixed an issue
ETF,
where
a
multiple
high
potions
dividend
applying can
ETF,
create
and
some
start
unintended
pumping money into it. And no, I'm not
you'd
financial
actually get
advisor,
more
but
healing
that's
than
what I
you're
would
supposed to
do,
heal.
yeah.
So that's been fixed.
And,
That's what I would do.
Play around with it, right? Like as
Especially
AJ
if
noted,
you're
it is
young.
still
If you're young,
different than
you
Smite
got
1.
time on your
We're
side.
liking how it feels in our playtest.
I
I
can
think
have
we
you-
kind of
I
agreed
can
in our
make you
internal
a
playtest too that
millionaire
it was too
in
strong.
freaking 30
But we
years.
feel like this is a good level now.
You just
Again, we
listen
can
to that-
we can
those-
balance
that-
everything.
that
going
little
forward,
bit of
right? So
wisdom.
let us know what you think.
I used to
more
share it with my
rapidly, too.
soldiers all the time, dude.
Yeah,
I shared it with my
I was
kids.
talking
They
to the
don't
design
listen.
team, and I said, if there's something really obvious that we talk about today that people don't like, that's a balance number, let's fix it tomorrow, right? Like, that's the attitude. I don't know if we
Everybody
can
wants
actually do
to
that. Maybe Monday.
live
But
the
that's the
P. Diddy
attitude,
life.
yes,
you
but
know,
not
they
3
wanna
weeks
make it
from
rain
now.
today.
Yeah,
right,
They don't
definitely
think about
not 3 weeks
tomorrow,
or
you
even
know
a
what I'm
week,
saying? When
2
you're
weeks
really
from now.
gonna need
Yeah.
it.
All right, so items in general. So one of the first things we're looking
Now look
at
at
is
that fool in
CDR
prison.
as a whole. So cooldown rate in Smite is Smite 2 is a little weaker than CDR percent in Smite 1. And a lot of people felt like the CDR numbers were just a little bit weak, and CDR
Yep.
items and CDR builds were not doing nearly as well as just full strength into pen builds. So what we've done is adjusted something on the back end we call the efficiency
Yep,
of a
and
stat.
that's
So
our
that means
society
every
now.
item with
It's instant
CDR on it is going to
gratification,
get
dude. Everybody
more
wants it now.
CDR or
Case in
cheaper
point,
or
Smite
more of
2.
the other stats.
All-
And many of the
it's-
cases
this
we
game
chose to
is an alpha
buff the
state.
CDR
They're
directly
developing.
because
they opened up this
we
game
want people to feel the impacts of that
to the
CDR
player
more
base to
because of
give them the
CDR rate
honor
to percent conversion.
to help
but there's a couple that were
mold
just
this game
adjusted
to
other
be the
ways,
game we want.
and there was
And
potentially
because
some
of that,
due to balance
because
issues
all
might have
these
need to become
fools
more
that don't
expensive
know what the hell
to
alpha
balance
means,
out their buffs. But
they
I'm not
think
going to
this
read
is
over
supposed
all
to be
these, but you can see
in-game
this is a full
content,
list of
and
all of
they're
them.
destroying
Most
the
of the
game
items
before
are
it even gets
CDR
made.
only.
Because they want
some of
that
these items have
instant
additional balance
gratification. They
elsewhere,
want the
but we
game to be
listed out
perfect
everything
right
here
now.
in the CDR
You know what I'm
section
saying?
anyway.
This is a perfect example.
Breastplate of Valor is one of the ones I wanted to call out
stupidest thing they
specifically.
ever
That is
did
going
is
to
make
be
this an
higher
open alpha.
CDR, higher
That
procs,
was the
and
dumbest
cheaper.
damn thing they could have done.
So they're smaller. It's
at
a bigger
least this
CDR
early
buff,
in the
with
game.
small
They should have
procs
waited
and,
to make it an
very
open
small,
alpha.
gold change, but that's still a significant amount of
That was very
item
stupid on their
efficiency
part.
overall.
Yeah.
Couple notes we had here was Leviathan's Hide, Talisman of
for sure.
Purification, Gemma Focus, Techo did not receive CDR
If they
buffs
would have
already because
waited
they're already
until
overperforming. In fact, Gem and
maybe
Techo are going
even
to get
January
additional
to
nerfs
make it
here
open
soon.
alpha or
So,
November.
Yeah, first thing is CDR.
And would it
Moving
kept
into the
working
different categories of
on
items. First
Smite
off, we got Sunder,
and
or
Smite
Sundering
1
Arc is
and
the
make
Smite 2
Smite 1
Sunder.
priority
We
and
use the
make
short
this
form
30
terminology.
secondary. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
It'd be a
pretty
whole
big
different
nerf
animal.
here.
I guarantee you
we
more
had
people
quite a
in
bit
Hires
of
would
pro
still
level
have
feedback
jobs right
that
now.
this was deciding games as a whole.
Their
Right, doing
leadership
1,000 damage
crapped the
means
bed
you're
on this one,
essentially
dude.
you're going to outcompete even full int Kukulkan Ultimate.
But that's
will be
just my
hard
personal opinion.
pressed to
I don't have no
out-
inside information information. I'm just letting you know.
confirm
This is what I think.
Sunder. We still think it's a fun relic as a whole, but we're trying to get the right tuning here. So it's going to come down quite a bit. It's now going to cap at 500 damage instead of 1,000, and at level 14.
It's all
instead of
strategy, baby.
10.
It's all
So
strategy.
it's going to be ramping up in damage slower, and it's going to be
Strategic thinking, man.
peaking at a lower peak.
I
And
think
that's
it's
what they
still
needed
good.
at the
I think you
helms, a
probably still
strategic
want
thinker.
one on a team, but I don't think it's going to decide the game in every game anymore, which is really the goal.
Yeah, we've moved it more into it requires that extra skill of knowing exactly when to execute with it compared to just throw it, you'll get it, don't worry.
Yeah, I love like stealing jungle buffs or and stealing objectives and stuff. So like as a support, like just getting Sunder and going and doing it is always a lot of fun for me. So I think you can still do that. You're not going to do it as well as you used to be able to. It's not going to be kind of OP, but it should still feel fun.
Stupid to the 15th power, dude. How the hell are you going to have a
so in addition we have like
with a
we had a lot of feedback that thought we kind of overdid it on
and
tank
then at the same time
carry
fire
DPS,
a bunch of people that have been
protection shifts
dedicated to the game.
So we're kind of reverting a little bit of both of those
years.
to kind of walk it back a bit. So
a
we are
slap in
doing
the face,
some
dude.
carry buffs
Where's
and some
the
tank nerfs
loyalty
to undo
in
those.
their
We don't want to
workers, you know what I'm saying? For their
overdo this
workers.
again,
This is
right? So
stupid.
there's very specific ones that we think we have
How the hell are you
good
going to have a tournament for a
data
game
and
that's not even
feedback towards,
released yet? You know what I'm saying?
Increasing and on the Smite talk show, we might get into more detail of the balance numbers and some things that go into it that we usually don't go into
fired for
all
at
the
least
detail
a couple of years.
But on Smite 2, we'll have the time to do that.
So damn stupid.
So first up is Kins. This is a pretty important buff.
And now they're saying,
it looks like 1%,
of
right?
the
But that's
tickets are
actually a
sold. Hurry up and buy
25%
one. Dude, ain't
increase.
nobody buying those damn
33%
tickets.
off,
$250 for a ticket,
3%
another $600 for in flight, another $1,000 for a hotel room there. You're
We're
looking
really
at
trying to make sure
$2,000 for what?
the non-crit build path
To watch
is
something
more
that you can
viable
watch
for
on the
carries.
internet?
So
I mean,
Broggy's
come on,
Harp, one
dude.
of the primary like hybrid and just
guys are
proc
dumb.
damage,
And then on
is
top of
getting
it, it's going to
base
cost
and
them
scaling.
$50,000 to
Death Metal is a crit item,
just
but it's
to
also an
rent the
in-scaling
venue
hybrid item.
to hold the tournament.
This one
So
was
you're
just
looking
pretty
at
overwhelming in a variety of ways. It's
$500,000
getting a nice strength buff.
between prize
And Dagger
money
of Frenzy
and freaking,
actually fell off
having to
really hard in the
split the
stats.
bill
It was
to
one of
fly
the
all the
lowest performing
contestants there.
active
They're
items in the game.
stupid.
So
Stupid.
what
Who
we
the
thought would be
hell's
really
thinking
fun,
on
we
a
want to
game
test
that's
a
not
little
even
bit more is
released yet?
shorter cooldown on
They're in
active items.
Atlanta. Why the
So
hell didn't they
now
have the
Dagger
tournament
has
in
a much
Atlanta?
shorter
Atlanta's
cooldown,
a
and you
major
can
hub.
continue to
More
use
people
this
could
more frequently
drive
as
to
opposed
Atlanta.
to
There's
under
more
prioritize.
states
It's going to be
around
weaker
Atlanta
than it was
within
nerfed the
driving
patch or two
distance.
ago.
It's a
It was
major
really
hub.
strong
Flights
for a
are
bit.
cheaper.
So it's going to stay in that slightly lower
Hotel
stats, but
rooms
it's
in
going to be up a
Atlanta
lot
and
more
the
often.
suburbs are a
So
lot
you
cheaper
can really
than freaking Vegas, dude.
make plays with it in a lot
So
more
damn
situations.
stupid.
That sounds fun.
But
So
like I
tank
said,
nerfs,
I ain't in
Spirit
charge
Robe
of
was the
nothing, that's on
obvious
them.
standout here. We had tons of pro feedback and ambassador feedback about this, as well as high data. It's just giving an absurd amount of stats.
A little bit good.
So bringing down the prots on the base and the proc. It still doesn't have a cooldown, which it did on Smite 1. So you can, if you're getting CC chained, you're going to continue to get
I
this
don't know
effect
which
refreshed,
first
which is
place
really
was-
nice. So it's a little more
on our-
consistent.
our
We've had
Reap Souls.
positive responses to that, but the general stat effect was just
Too good.
too much. Yeah.
Overwhelming.
Oni's was another one that was really overperforming in data and feedback. So we got some cost increase and prot decrease. Eye of Providence, maybe this is a little bit more pro
Dude, none of
skewed
this
only
even-
one. This is
doesn't
really
even
powerful
interest
though.
me,
That
dude.
vision,
I don't care about their
getting those
stupid
sentry
items 'cause
wards
they're
on
gonna change them all.
cooldown
You know what
repeatedly.
I'm saying?
So just taking the stats down a little
It's like
bit.
whatever. It's not like I can auto
We then have
build it.
some meta nerfs. So these are just items that are overperforming in general. Staff of Cosmic Horror, pretty much in every int build in the game. You're now going to have to build more int in order to get the passive threshold, and you're just going to get
You
a
might
little
thought it
bit
was
weaker
Olivia.
passive CDR. when
Olivia
you
did
do
have a
it.
lot of points.
This one just really strong on stats. And then Techo and Gem, pretty much some of the most ubiquitous items in the game as well.
Yeah, for y'all that didn't know,
potentially
you-
even showing
if you're
up
watching
on
us,
non-DPS
my
characters and
system
tanks, and
gives
even
you
showing
points,
up to
sphere
both
points, so you can do all
both
those
items on the
little
same
memes and
god at the
stuff.
same time. So
But in order to
getting,
start
I
earning
go
points,
Techo
you got to
and
say
solo
something
a
to chat at
lot.
least
Like, it's
once
just real
per
good.
stream. You have to say
these
hi
items
or
are
something, so the system
very
knows that you're
strong,
watching,
for
so
sure.
it starts
So we're
tracking
getting
you.
nerfs there.
So if you watch
All right,
this
now
for
we have
3
a
hours
list, a
and never
long
say
list of
nothing,
kind of
you
the
didn't earn not one
underperforming
point.
buffs. So
You want to earn
for
Reap
starters,
Souls, you got
we
to say
felt
at
like
least
Warrior's
hi or
Axe,
put
Thundering Axe were really
emoji
being
or something
outcompeted
on
by
in the
Bluestone,
chat at
even
least
after
once.
Bluestone's nerf. So we're getting some base
Once you do it
protections
once, you don't have to
and
talk no more,
damage
you don't
proc
have to.
buffs on the
There you go.
starter, and the protection stats and the heal trigger on the upgrade. Sands of Time, we got increased intelligence and cooldown. So this is a big one here.
That is big, yeah.
Yeah. So this was already a cooldown buff update, right? So we were doing that, and then also trying to just make this compete a little bit more. So now if you're a mid laner or an int, you're going to choose between really the cooldown item or the burst damage item.
Has
right?
anybody tried
So
that game
before
Deadlock
the
yet?
conduit gem was just really outperforming?
Like that's really good for like Nua.
I put this in the balance section just because it's really impactful on play styles, but it really should be in the bug fix section, which, whatever.
I'm
But
dead.
Prophetic Cloak, we did fix that issue where the item would go on cooldown even when
Who's that?
you were
Alias
getting
bot.
a trigger for a stack that was already
13,000
completed, so you
for-
wouldn't actually get a stack. It would go on cooldown. If you have 15 fizz stacks and 10 magical and you get a fizz hit, it would go on cooldown and you would get nothing. So that's been
Again,
fixed. We
if
got
you're one of my Reapers,
slight
after
buff
this,
on Shoguns for the
after
protections.
this stream, you're gonna want to
Eye
stick
of the Storm,
around.
which was the new item.
If you're a PC
not really
player,
new reworked item from last update.
You're gonna want to
was
stick
just
around after the stream. I got some information to
way
put
too
out.
much being sacrificed for the effect, so we're getting just a kind of
Hint, hint.
omni buff on this one, like all across the
Elias,
board.
hint, hint.
HP, protections, and the self damage a little bit less. So really exciting to see if we see more of this.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Pridwin cost decrease. This was another ambassadors and pros level feedback change. This was prohibitively expensive, really blocking it out from supports.
Yeah.
So the cost change actually helps a
And
lot.
if you're on Steam,
we had
you
also
might want to
we
send me
changed
a
this from
friend
the alt
invite on
trigger to
Steam
an
right
active
now.
trigger, which gives you a lot more control over it. So we weren't sure exactly how powerful.
Giving you
that
a hint. If you're not one of my friends, if
a
you
bracer
don't
of
friend
the
me on
abyss,
Steam, you might want to
an
friend
item
me on
that has
Steam
a hard
now.
time finding a home. So just getting
open
some
up
more
a
buffs to
second
it,
window
increased
and do it real
intelligence,
quick.
increase the max stacks, so you can get more basic attack damage, and increase the buff duration, so it's easier to get those stacks up.
Yeah.
Yogis increased mana and health regen. This is continuing to be like, we know it's not the most exciting item, but theoretically a bunch of regen is really strong. So this might be a rework candidate in the future, maybe not, but for now we just keep pushing it. Let's see if we can find a place where it's really good. Golden Blade is getting a shift to increase the base damage on the proc and slightly decrease the protection. So it's a pretty positive shift.
Yeah.
Make it much more useful to rush early game and still have some late game scaling. So we didn't really like how Smite 1's Golden Blade was kind of like ditch it after a while.
Yeah.
But we wanted this to still have that meaningful impact it can have on solo and jungle if you buy it, if you rush it.
You're not on PC.
Gladiator Shield, pretty big shift here
Oh,
from
that sucks.
overall changing its stats. It's no longer going to provide
How
strength.
do you
Instead,
add you?
just going to be protections and
go to
CDR item, but that
friends
protections
and,
is going to feed
add
into
a
its passive,
request
right, and
friend
give you more
invite at
damage
the top
anyway.
and just
Yeah,
put
that's more
Darkgarza.
like Smite 1, right?
I'll
Right,
come up.
exactly. Soul Gem buff in cost and passive scaling. Typhon's getting
I
a
think
little
on
bit of a
Steam it is in
rework
the
here now. It's
type. You
actually
can
going to be an
click add-
int
or on
and
the
lifesteal
left,
item
under
now.
friends,
No
and then
longer
click
just
add friend,
lifesteal with nothing
and
else. It's
friend
now
center friend
And mages
request,
really needed
and
a
just
good
put
lifesteal
Darkgarza
option
and
Yeah.
it
to
should
fit
come
in their
up.
build. So I think that this should be really good for the mages out there.
Yes.
Anubis player
Or
rejoice.
we don't say mages anymore, do we? For the mids out there, for the mids.
For the mids.
Yeah.
We could, it's okay to be conversationally.
Conversationally, I can say mids.
Genji's Guard also
We're all
getting a
friends
stat shift in that it's going to now have mana and mana regen in addition to its other stats, and an Oathsworn Spear cost reduction.
You guys,
So
right?
Nice. Lot
that's
of
it for
good stuff.
items.
Finally.
Sweet.
A lot
Gods?
of, a lot of
Insanity.
items. A lot of it
I
driven by
alpha
the
tested
feedback
him.
and data.
For y'all that didn't see me in Discord, I
thank you,
actually alpha
ambassadors and
tested him
community at
last
large.
week.
Definitely.
He feels really good.
But now
I
we
like
got
him.
gods, and we have
He
two
feels
new
good.
gods, which I'm really excited for. One of my favorites of all time coming
I don't
in
know who
here.
the
so
second new
let's,
god is,
let's
so-
move over to
I
that.
wonder if
I know the
this
Baron
conquest
was one,
match
but
is
they
gonna
didn't have
end.
the second god,
unfortunate
whoever they're
thing
talking
about this
about.
is just doing the debug and
But the Baron felt really good.
changing bots
He has two
general.
buffs.
You
One
switch
on
to
his
us now, just in
snake
case, because
and,
we operate in dev
one
for
on
this.
his
Because, like I said,
laser
we're being
eyes.
open with y'all, and we operate in dev, which has the one notable downside of there being
They are
super
the same
spoilery
except for
stuff.
the
in
Yeah,
snake
so I
at
think
the
we're
very
actually-
end. The
we're
last
in
snake
PC.
Yeah,
paralyzes
we
you.
are.
Because
If
we're
you have
I lied
his-
to y'all.
yeah, normally we're in
his,
dev,
juju
but the
on
dev
people.
build today was a little broken.
And there's
so,
a
we're in BTS.
debuff.
Yeah,
I
and so
think,
I have to do
on
things a little
his
bit
laser
slower
eyes.
using this debug.
If they have that,
But two
stacks
gods we're
of
looking
that
forward to.
juju
So
on them.
Umoja and Baron,
Yeah.
I think y'all know already because we've all the teasers. We got to bring back the fun
But
water
yeah, all the
teaser.
rest of them are
Tweeted
the
some
same.
brew jokes earlier. Super
stream was
excited.
so fun.
That stream
I
was so
enjoyed that.
fun. We thought
Back in
about
the
running
day.
it back.
Yeah.
But
Dude, we put way too much effort into running that stream back in the day. Like I think Isaiah was up for 24 hours straight, like guarding a glass of water, and I think Pecky's was like also running the
No,
stream, and
yeah.
he was like
It's
playing
gonna be
RuneScape or
together.
something the whole time. Like
That'd
I
be
don't
Darkgarza
remember.
again.
so related.
There's
Yeah,
no space.
good old times, but that was fun.
Yeah, the dev build isn't really broken. It's just
Yeah.
constantly being changed.
It's all
and
one
updated,
word.
right? So
Yeah.
there's-
I'm not trying to over exaggerate. Just it wasn't good to show today.
okay, chat's calling us out for having a broken dev build, which is just understanding that.
that's right, because it'll
Welcome
be
to game
a
development.
working live build in a matter of minutes. Well, not exactly. Whenever
but doing the quick Baron kind of ability demo.
Are we like? Are you in? Are we ready? Oh, dude,
I'm showing it already.
Oh, run it back. We hadn't switched over yet. I don't think. Hit us
Oh.
with that ability demo.
Isn't that TV is what they have on live too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just hadn't switched over to it yet, but
Oh.
you can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good now.
It should be like
When
this.
we came in, you were ulting, and I was awestruck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he looks so pretty in this game.
So yeah, I think that by and large, this should resemble the Baron that you know and love, but just better.
Oh,
right?
so
Yeah,
much
there's
better.
a few. I'll go
I
back
love
to
the effects on this version of Baron. By
Not
the way,
only that, but you know that I've been sneaking through dev trying out new stuff, and I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to let the experts talk
Yeah, I've
about
had
it.
the same
but the
gamer tag
changes
for
to Baron
43
are incredibly
years,
fun,
dude.
and I am so excited. I'm excited that we get to play them in live today.
he's
So-
one of my most played characters in
Oh,
Smite 1.
same.
And he's also one of the most popular characters.
I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, all 3 of Baron fans will be excited," and I'm just like, "What world are you living in?" Baron has
know.
been one of the most popular, of the new generation Smite gods, like season 5 and beyond.
Yeah.
He's probably the single most popular one.
My brother
and
has
of
been
the last
looking
5 years.
forward to this. I was like, listen, man, Baron is on the way when the tweet went
he-
live, and he was
I
like,
enjoyed
"Thank you."
playing Baron.
And he's got he's viable in 2 lanes in Conquest.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, so let's talk about some of his
Sorry, go for it.
That's going to include that.
Everything
Yeah.
there was
Yeah,
no
his-
delays in
his movies are
attack.
great.
Baron's
Everything
Brew
was
is now a
fluid for
1
combos.
stack
It was
instead
really
of
good.
having multiple charges, but it's more potent healing and regeneration. And when it's consumed, you can, as we're being cheeky here, share the last drop with enemies, but you're getting an active attack that throws the bottle at them, dealing a area effect explosion and applying hysteria. And one of the coolest things about this is that your allies can really help the Baron player by stacking up a lot of hysteria really fast on the target.
so cool.
Which is cool because normally a Baron has to do that on his own.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hysteria,
Alrighty.
we're gonna do
That's new. I
a
didn't know
shift here,
that.
as Alex
That
mentioned, towards
you can
making
throw
him
the
fit
brew
better
at
in roles.
people with the
He's
last drink.
no longer gonna do a lot of bonus damage on hysteria. That's just going to be more balanced across the kit as a whole.
Yeah.
And hysteria is going to do. It's going to cause targets at max hysteria to deal less damage, and it's going to turn on some of those bonus effects.
Cool bonus
So this shift better supports his playstyle, letting him actually be high scaling for a mage mid playstyle.
Yeah.
Even though, as we know in Smite 1, he was generally a better bruiser tank solo or support than
Yeah.
he was a mid laner. But we want to try to make sure that he's good at both in Smite 2.
He can do it.
So some of the new things other way across his kit is new protection scaling on Vivid Gaze's debuff. So if you build full tank, your Vivid Gaze
So those are the
power
lasers
and
that he
attack
does.
speed
His- I
reduction
think it's
debuff
what,
is
his
going to
two?
be more intense.
Yeah.
So you can really be like a
Was it- yeah, it's
debuffing
two, right?
tank
Yeah.
Baron. Consigned Spirits now has cooldown rate scaring. As you buy more cooldown rate, the missing health is going to be more potent. So his heal gets better off of how much CDR you build.
which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Something we would never have been able to
Nice.
do in Smite 1. Like
Right.
that would take us, like a month to build out the tech to
You
do
have to
that in Smite
rework
1.
the system. And
So
That's
Wrap It
really
Up
nice.
has had a bit more rework. So now when Wrap It Up hits a god above the hysteria threshold, the snake will explode 1.75 seconds later,
So
immediately dealing damage and mesmerizing enemies. So it had kind of a difficult to understand and visualize kind of chain mechanic with timers and individual stuff in Smite 1. So this is a very similar effect, but with a little bit better clarity.
Yeah.
And more yeah,
So I
mostly
think it
it's
still
a
does the
clarity
tick
adjustment.
damage. It's just
so you'll
that
really
max
be able to tell
dexterity,
more
it does
clearly.
tick damage, and at
Watch
the
out
very
when
end
this
it
detonates.
explodes.
You're going to get hit if you don't. Right, get out of the way.
Yeah,
And
right.
Life of the Party now has protection scaling on dealing damage. So like full tank Baron will now be able to have stronger coffin hits and stronger debuffs, and potentially if you're full tank, you're probably building some CDR too, stronger healing. And Baron by default is just going to have better damage and scaling in the kit because you won't have to build up Hysteria. So makes him a better mid and makes him a better support. Or
What's up,
solo.
Rico?
Then we have the rest of the full gameplay text here, but nothing else really to call out specifically.
The
Anything you wanna see
hysteria
again?
bonus effects are the same from Smite 1? I thought we changed some of those, or are they?
I think they are the same,
okay.
or I trust my team would have put them on the patch notes. But
Probably, yes. It's okay. Sorry, we don't have to go through it all. If you're mega Baron main, please take a look.
Let's
But yeah,
take a look at some of his other features here too. So one thing to note is the hysteria meter building up below the god's health. Oh, we went away
Yeah.
from
yeah,
game.
we're
Go back.
going back. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a meter underneath the god's health bar that only Baron sees that lets you build up hysteria. You can see it turns purple when they're hysterical.
That's so cool.
And then
Okay, so
gold
his
when they're
one
at
is
max.
the laser eyes.
And
His
the little
2 is the
dancing skull.
AoE. That's right.
They want to see the
So
jump.
his 1 is what gives you those debuffs.
Is that his in combat jump? And there's his out of combat jump.
You know,
I know this is the one. This
that's
is
the
what
one
they
people
want
wanna
to
see.
see.
They wanted
Yep.
to spin.
This is what they want.
Still
I
there.
don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't
look
log into
good.
Smite 1 today.
I guess
so
they're
don't
not
know.
getting in-game
The
sound. I don't know
update's
if
supposed to have came out, so I'm
production
gonna say
can fix
yes.
that while we're playing, but if not,
Because it was supposed to go
sorry.
live today, and I saw the
you can log in and
the
listen
I
to
Twitter-
did
it.
test
the
that
Twitter
before.
feed
I
that
don't.
said
The
it did
game
go
is set to have sound, but I'm
live,
not
so
hearing
yeah.
it either, so I'm not sure what to do. Sorry.
Okay. All right, but it seems
check
like
my
it might be a
email to see if
computer
I got
issue,
any
so we're
codes.
sorry. But we will try and get that fixed for the next stream.
Yeah, we couldn't give it all to you right now. We wanted some mystery for y'all to embrace. As
Of course,
you-
Baron's audio design is super fun though. So there's the detonating warm-up
So
area on the
cool
snake.
looking.
It's
No,
a
I keep
lot.
Forgetting I have
Unfortunately, I did not
don't
get
have
any codes yet.
cooldown cheats on. Actually.
It's a lot easier to read what's going on with the 2 in combat than it is in Smite 1.
Yeah.
The other thing chat's asking for, I don't know if because you changed character, I don't know if Baron's Brew is in the shop, but would it be possible to show like what it looks like to throw that?
Oh yeah, I did switch class cheat though. So
Oh, it's there.
it's there.
Hey, look.
Hey, how intuitive.
So we get to
Let me refresh
Drink it.
my.
and now you see the
Refresh
icon
my
changed, and now you
email.
can
Throw it. That's so great.
Can
Usually it takes them about
Yeah.
a week to give me codes anyway.
It's more Baron per your Baron.
Yeah, and then even though you throw it, it refills when you go back to base.
Yeah.
So he's had some ability icons adjusted, card art adjusted, full card
Yeah,
art
I
is in
didn't
the
get nothing
game. I'm not sure what else to add. He's
I think that's it.
Particle effects update looks really nice.
I especially love like the 2, the healing, yeah, like that little swirl, like
Yeah.
it just looks really nice. And I think like for people that have been here since the start of Smite 2, I think you can also see with this most recent set of gods, especially like how we're pushing the FX to still feel more like they still feel Smite 2-y, but they're a lot more readable than some of the early effects that we were doing, you know? So I think we've kind of found the right space, I think, for making effects feel awesome. And the team's killing it, and also making it really readable.
A few more things people noticed is that the AO3 does deal damage to minions now on pass through. It's a relatively small amount, but it does do damage.
Yeah.
One thing I also wanted to call out is that we saw a lot of feedback about Baron in discussion, and people saying that if there was a
Smite
god to
2E.
not change at all, this was the god, right?
Smite
People
2E.
didn't want kit changes
He's
on
perfect.
this, so we didn't change him too heavily. You know, a lot of the changes
to
we
be
talked through were
confused
pretty
with
exciting,
Ratatouille.
but they're very stat scaling, roll flexing stuff. We didn't really change any ability really heavily. That was very intentional because people were being so positive about this kit and didn't want it changed. I also want to mention though that every god coming forward still will have like new features on
Yep.
on
for
the
sure.
god, and that is something we're working into. Even at the accelerated pace, all of those gods are still going to have new features added to the kit. So
Oh, and another thing worth mentioning, even though we're moving at a faster pace on the
You know,
gods, 'cause
these
the
fools
ambassadors
would've
asked me
had
this,
that
the only reason why I'm
tournament
bringing it
in
up.
Atlanta.
We will still be doing the Ascension passes
Atlanta's only like
for,
4.5
all the
hours
gods
where
as
I
well
live.
at the
I would
January
actually
release.
drove
and we can
up
show
there
we can show Baron and
just to
Jimoji's
do some
Ascension
live
pass
feed from
after
there.
we done with the two gods.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
overall,
wouldn't-
beautiful. I love the colors. I love this god.
competed
I
in
am
nothing
so
'cause I don't
excited
play
to
Conquest,
play this
but at
later
least
today.
I would film
So
from
thank
up
you.
there, you
And
know
now
what
we're
I'm
on to
saying?
Umoja.
Yeah,
There's
so
no
the
way in
next
hell I'm
god
gonna waste
is
my money going to
Umoja.
Vegas.
Production, if you want to keep it on the screen while I switch in game, but we can just talk about some of the new features on Umoja.
Let's do it.
Vegas is too damn
Yeah,
expensive.
Umoja is a interesting character, right? A challenging character,
For sure.
Very high
Yeah,
skill
right. Till he
ceiling.
gets released next year.
She is a true backline support, though, which is one thing we've wanted, right? We don't have most of the Guardians supports in Smite 2 are very aggressive,
Very front live dive heavy.
So
And
Umoja
part of the
was
reason
the
why
next
is
guy
that like
that
a
got-
lot of the very
I didn't
early
see
gods
her
we
in the alpha
prioritized for
test.
Smite 2 are the most played gods in Smite 1.
Yeah.
So I don't know nothing
like,
about her,
A lot of
how
people
her-
don't know
if
this,
they
but
changed
Nuwa
her
is
what.
actually the most played god in Smite 1.
one.
She is more popular than Neith over the last 90 days.
Yeah, 'cause Nuwa
So
rocks.
that's one of the reasons why we prioritized her for the last update. And a lot of the most popular guardians tended to be some of the more aggressive ones. But that didn't do a good job of having a full diversity of roles, which is why I'm really glad that we have Umoja in. And
course.
as I teased earlier, you know, one of the gods on our push here is, you know, Kepri, who
The
obviously
Huckbug.
supplies that similar kind of like more
Dude, who the
defensive
hell
true
asked for
guardian
Capri?
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Who?
Also,
Who the hell asked
wonderful
for
skill
Capri?
expression
I mean,
with
come
that
on,
ult.
dude.
Just a lot of cool,
Ain't nobody
a lot of
asked
fun
for that fool.
playable
I
mechanics.
mean, don't
that
get me
we could
wrong.
have
He's
brought
a
in.
niche.
Yeah, sorry.
type.
Anyway, back to Umoja. Sorry, I'm not trying to.
All right,
nobody
so
plays
I
that.
apologize.
features on Umoja. All of Umoja's water-based attacks
They
and
need
abilities
Shing
can hit
Shang.
allied
That's
gods
what
for
they
5
need.
with healing buff, Omi healing. All of her
Freaking
attacks and
Capri.
abilities.
All of them.
That's
All
why
of
they
them.
got fired.
Hitting
for
an ally
stupid
with
comments
Moonstrike
like that.
replaces Omi healing with a new buff providing basic attack damage and attack speed.
Ooh.
Oh,
And
that's so
allies
wrong.
inside of River's Rebuke gain
I
both
should make
buff
fun of
effects.
people
So
being
she's got a
fired.
lot more buffing
Yeah.
built into the kit, right? Using River's Rebuke provides half of missing Omi immediately. So in Smite 1, this was a faster regeneration, but now you just get it up front.
Yep.
Yeah.
During the duration of this buff
Yeah,
is
Baron's
decreased
good.
based on the
Baron
amount
was good.
instantly restored.
So
Oh,
it's
it's
like-
got both.
it almost feels like
Excuse
that-
me.
we're gonna add
you get
one
a bunch
good
of,
guy
you
and
get
one
half of
crappy
it
guy.
immediately, and you still have a regeneration buff. But depending on how much you restore,
Yeah,
if you're,
Thor
you'll get
was
a weaker
one of the
regeneration buff.
main ones I saw people asking
This
for.
kit
and
has a lot
Raw
going on to it.
supposedly was like the top
She
one.
has a very
everybody
small
wanted.
well.
kit.
So
But
let's look at a
Thor
couple things, right? The
and
bubble, I
Hercules
think
were the two big
targeters
ones.
and
A lot-
the
I've seen a
visual
lot
effects
of
are a really
polls
big
when
upgrade
people have
here.
been asking,
like the
and
liquid,
Thor,
water,
yeah, look
and
at Hercules were the two top
splashy
ones
it
I
looks.
saw.
Dude, those little like particles that come off of the center
I mean,
light strike.
I can care less for either
Like,
of those,
oh
to
my
tell you
God,
the
it looks so
truth,
good.
but that's what the people wanted, right?
That-
you
that-
gotta
yeah,
give
those,
the people what they
yeah,
want.
those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love how bouncy the water
all need to
orb
make
is.
allies. The targeter clarity on this I really love.
Oh, that's
Arrow
nice, yeah.
shifting. I mean, we
Yeah.
have a lot of similar stuff in Smite 1, but this is a little bit more intense, which is really
I'm
nice.
surprised they
Now
had
my
Cupid.
teammates in arena will know even better when they're going to troll me and keep me from getting back
Oh
in.
yeah, Shing. Well, yeah, Shing boy, it's gonna be
yeah,
it's
this
gonna be
ability is
online
crazy,
Donkey
right?
Kong. That's my boy.
Let's see. I would need to spawn allies to do the 2, but its 2 is looking nice. All right, then we have
The 2 looks more like a wave than in Smite 1, which is nice.
Yeah.
and then we have the ultimate.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
so
That's what I
Water
was
looks
asking.
real nice.
Oh man, the water effects are gorgeous.
So the semi-permeable wall, which is always some crazy
the
fun tech to
graphics
work
are really
on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
they
by
did a
that I
good
mean
job.
challenging to work on.
And you know, I don't
I mean,
want to
look at that. That
overpromise
looks-
anything,
that looks
but
nice.
for those of you that have played a lot of Smite 1,
Did this damn thing go
you,
back
you
to
know that
720p
Yamoja's
again?
mana bar just somehow manages to screw up your mana bars
Close
for like several games following,
No,
where like
that's
on the
1080p.
you know on your teammates, it's like for some reason everybody has
Which
Yamoja mana for this game.
stream looks like crap.
Yeah, so far we haven't been having that issue in Smite 2 because things are built better. So
It's 'cause
hopefully
their
we don't
bit
see
rate,
that
man. Their
in
bit
live
rate's
when we
so
put this out.
freaking
But
low.
I'm just you know, it's another nice benefit of you know, we have this God in Smite 2 now. And it
Yeah,
doesn't have the same
having
issues.
built it fresh from the ground up with the knowledge of
Yeah,
10
right?
years
Yeah.
of work. So
Right, so we're working fast on a lot of gods in the background, but these are the 2 that we have for this update.
Oh,
I mean, she looks-
when
she
you put the
looks
ring
good,
down?
don't get me
can,
wrong,
can we
she
just
looks good.
look at both sides of it too? Just
This
yeah,
part?
They
yeah,
did a
just-
good job on her.
So I think
it blows bubbles.
yeah, I think it looks more visibly different, like so you can see what side you're on a little bit better than Smite
Yeah.
1. And there's also like the ground
But the question
targeter.
is,
I
who
think
the hell's
also
gonna
is a
play
little
her,
bit
you
more
know what I'm saying?
visible than
It's
in
like-
Smite 1. So
Yeah, it
You're
shows you which
saying you
side
want to
you
do
should funnel
a
into
guy that
and
you
which
can
side you will be
easily
shot
put
at.
out.
Yep.
That's easy.
our
to
team
put
in
out.
general, killing it,
But
amazing.
why put out a guy
There's-
that's
yeah,
barely
really
even
great
going to
work
get
on it.
played?
Clarity.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody.
And as always, looking forward to the future of skins for this god because Yamoja's ult has always been really, really entertaining to see take different
Does
forms.
still stun towers, yes.
Yes.
There you go. Super beautiful work, and as always, a big ups to the
Maybe
team
in Conquest.
for
I don't know
getting
jack
all the
crap
tech
about
for because this is
Conquest,
a
so maybe
relatively
she's big in
complex
Conquest,
character
I
in
don't know.
comparison. Like different mana bar,
Arena, she
the
sucks.
healing mechanics.
I mean,
so
she
props to
doesn't
them
suck.
for,
She's just
for
not
bringing
as good as
Yamoja in and
the other
providing
guys
some
that
more
could be out
variety
there,
in the
right?
support role.
All right.
Yeah, inspiring to watch. All right, well, cool. So those are the 2 new gods that you can look forward to literally today. I keep having to remember to say that. It is exciting, and I'm going to be playing
that
Baron all night
he
tonight.
cat
Anyway, we're on to
girl.
balance now.
All right, I'm going to go through these
Everybody
relatively quickly.
plays
Let's
her.
do it.
I don't
Right.
think I've
Items,
ever
so
played a
just talk
Smite
over
2
me
game
whatever as we
without
go, but
that
I'll keep
old
going.
catty girl
So
in there.
Hecate nerf on the ultimate
Hecate.
cooldown. This is a game-changing team fight alternate cooldown. Like you can deny whole Phoenix defenses, whole fire giant kills with this ultimate.
Yep.
So it's going to get a longer cooldown in an early game and come scale back to the same in the late game. So
Yeah,
you
I
know,
find her kid
you'll have to
kind
keep
of
that
boring
zoning
too.
that
I
Hecate
agree.
out, but she won't be able to just deny you the whole game.
Yeah.
Fenrir, we've just been seeing consistently overperform.
I mean,
I
she's
will
just-
say,
for
you know,
my
before I get into
playstyle,
all
she's
these
just not
characters, we
exciting
did
enough.
really try to focus in on what are the gods that are overperforming right now in the data and the feedback, and really hit them hard.
Oh, the clay
and what is
soldiers.
who's underperforming, and really bring them up hard. Like Alex mentioned, we really want to see some shifts in what's popular and what's being played right now. So,
Diversity per game.
Yeah, we have 25 gods. We want to see all 25 gods being played.
and
right?
you know, if any of these are not enough or too much, we're gonna make changes more immediately.
Rapid.
So Fenrir nerf. Fixed an issue where it's providing more lifesteal as intended. I don't know exactly how much that is, so that could be really big, a big nerf. And also just a pretty solid brutalized damage nerf and decrease nerf when you're max.
The brutalized one shots were just too much.
Brutal.
Yeah, and this
Brutal.
these numbers are multiplied
sorry.
by 4 for the hits, so it's relatively big nerfs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuwa still was super highly performing, so we are going to be decreasing the
doing dad
penetration
jokes.
she gets from the Strength of Earth, which is very powerful stat, and decreasing the minion explosion damage even further, so it's going to be a little bit less scaling than the projectile.
Fair and valid.
Amaterasu was specifically doing very well with buying tons of int and
Yes.
making those buffs insane.
I think she was the most broken character in the last patch when she built int.
The int bruiser Amaterasu might have been the highest winningest god in the whole patch. That's correct.
Chad is calling you a traitor for nerfing Amma, by the way. So
just doing my job. Just doing my job.
Fair.
Can't play favorites when
Yeah.
you're working on the balance.
They
team.
have to have a Loki nerf.
Although the community has always felt that we do play favorites.
yeah, we really don't.
Atlas is
Jingwei
not
Persistent Gust decreased the base damage from this one. I saw some discussion about this one. So Jingwei is really strong, and we gave a lot of her strength in her new explosive bolts. So
Yeah.
people expect us to nerf explosive bolts, but Jingwei is really a basic attack character, and we like her strength lying there. Persistent Gust, though, is actually a lot of damage, and we made it a lot more generous to hit in Smite 2. Where minions who walk into it late will still get the full damage. So
No, you know what's funny?
Pretty big nerfs
is getting
here
a
to
Morgan
Persistent
and
Gust.
then doing two cross intersection.
Might she need
ults
more? Maybe
that you
she's still
trap
been
people in a
very good,
box,
but, we're
and
on
then
it.
put freaking
Bacchus, additional
something like
damage
Zeus's ult on
scaling
top of it.
nerfs from protections.
funny.
We like the idea of doing a little
Takes a lot
bit
of
rarely some
coordination,
bonus damage from protections. We can clearly see now why it's risky.
Yes.
'Cause when it's too high, you are just tanky and killing everybody.
Dude, those bonks were
Yeah.
a lot of bonks.
Yeah, so this is another big nerf,
Bacchus
and
got
then we're also just seeing an additional nerf in the Belch of the Gods damage per tick, just to he's like top clear, top her 1v1 potential tank. So just bringing that down. So now we're moving on to buffs. So big buff for on her,
I guess Loki didn't get
reverting his enfeeble rules back to Smite 1. So you now get the full
Nice.
protection shred on a single hit. That's a really big buff.
Yes.
That's interesting.
gonna
I could have
that's
swore
gonna hit
Loki
hard.
would have got buff, debuff.
Bologna buffs, we got increased base attack speed, which I believe is closer to what is in Smite 1.
I saw
and
two
also going to do
Kabrakens
increased
wall
scourge
each
damage
other.
and decreased cooldown. So really kind of giving
Nice.
her this is a general buff, but in a way that kind of pushes her a little
Dude,
bit more towards
Bologna
basic
and
attack
Smite
warrior.
2 is a
She's always
joke.
been like very flexible. She
Smite
could be
1,
for sure.
I
Either
hate
way.
her. She's just a pain.
But there
Smite
was a
2,
while
I'm
where
like,
carry
whatever, dude,
Bologna
get
was a
off
thing
me,
and stuff like
whatever,
that.
whatever.
And if you want to build this way in or hybridize
1,
into
not
that a
so
little bit more in the
much.
solo lane, we're doing this here.
And now the
I was
Kins
playing
is
Cuckoo
better.
and I
Yeah,
was
right.
scared of her at
We are
first, but then I was
back,
like, it's like what?
Athena,
So we're trying to hit me with
one of the
Nerf
lowest performing
swords?
tanks in the game. So
I
we
think
went-
she was the lowest win rate god last patch.
Yeah, maybe in the
wild.
whole game. So
Yeah,
some
which is-
pretty big increase the protection scalings buff on preemptive strike. So this is going to be much more effective.
Yeah, for sure.
And we also shield wall will now also slow enemies on either hit. The initial or the detonate.
Seems good.
Yeah. And
Dude,
we are also
Loki
bringing
with
back the
that
movement speed
invis
to
grass
the
in
defender of
arena
Olympus
is
target.
ridiculous.
Oh, that's good.
So
Yeah.
this
like
was in
forever
Smite 1,
invisible.
something like this was in Smite 1. So both of those things coming back. She's not sacrificing anything, just giving it all to our favorite goddess of wisdom.
All for you, Athena.
We heard a
Anubis-
lot of feedback that Anubis was just not good and was not seeing much play, and he was being reflected in the data. He could still pub stomp no matter what. Goobus is Goobus, but we want to actually see if we
I
can get
was
him to a
fine
spot
with
where he could be
Anubis.
more valuable at higher skill levels. So
Deservedly so.
the passive, it's a little bit challenging to explain, but I'll just give you the short of it, which is now he gets magical protections at all the times. He doesn't have to gain any stacks. He just gets a flat amount of protections and lifesteal even when he's at full health. And effectively what we're doing now is making that effect ramp up as he loses health. So you start with protections and lifesteal, and as you lose health, you're going to gain protections and lifesteal. So you're going to start at 6% lifesteal and go up to 24.
24.
And then
Holy
this
crap.
is a base plus per level calculation for. Wait, is it per level? Why did I write it like this?
Yeah.
You're
get
gonna
that clear.
start with something like 10 to 30 protections just all the time, and as you lose health, you're gonna go up to 20 to 60
Wouldn't tell,
protections.
wouldn't
Do we
tell
think
Baloney
that
to get off me,
like
to
maybe
be
this
honest.
helps him flex more into
10 to
support
20,
too,
60.
or
Yeah, it's a per level. So at level 1, you'll go from 10, and that'll get doubled as you lose stacks. And at level 20, you'll start at 30, and then it goes up to 60.
because he's got the mummify, the circle slows you, like maybe
Zeus, man,
support.
they give him a
I
shield
would,
back,
no, I don't know
dude.
if I'd say
hate
support, but
Zeus
maybe
in Smite
like
too. He's so
crappy.
solo bruiser, like
Okay, I got it.
Hades
All
or
right.
Baron have been playing.
Yeah,
solo.
that's probably a better
This is
call.
the kill secure support.
This is why I'm not a high level player.
He maybe needs a little more
though
CC
I've played
before he
thousands
can
of
play
hours.
support. But yeah, maybe.
with
So
gold.
Plague of Locusts decreases self slow. I saw a lot of people misinterpreting this, thinking he was slower in Smite 1 than he was in Smite 2, slower in Smite 2 than Smite 1. That's not true. It was just worded differently. But either way, we're making him faster because that's just sweet.
That's so cool.
So now by rank 5, he will be barely slowed at
He'll
all.
be zooming.
And
Yeah.
why they're
Shot
saying
down my
faster,
idea
they're
of a
talking about when
200%
he's
movement.
And then
blowing
just
his
bonus
locust
damage
is
on
one.
grasping hands
So his
and the
one,
ultimate.
he-
These were
he's
both just
not
a
gonna
little
be slowed as
underwhelming.
much.
Death Gaze. It's if there's anything that's supposed to kill fast, it's this
It's a
ability.
death case.
Yeah.
It was not melting enough.
Yeah.
Zeus. This is a really interesting buff to Zeus here. That's going to help him clear the wave a lot more because that's the main complaint we hear
Yep,
about. Is
now
that
he
his
can run you down with his
wave,
wand,
his
that's
lane
right.
clear is not good enough. He can't play mid lane without better lane clear. So now minions and jungle camps will skip right to 3 full charges when they take any damage from Zeus that applies charges.
Dude,
so you can chain lightning,
Zeus and
detonate,
Smite 2 feels
and
so
you'll just
crappy
triple hit
to
the
me,
whole wave.
dude. I mean,
So
they
like
destroyed
most
that
other
game.
mids can clear the whole wave in
I
2
don't know. Maybe
abilities.
some
so
people like him. I
so
don't.
can Zeus now.
I don't like his new.
You can
new
save that
abilities.
2 for other, or you can use the 2 and then the 3 combo. Either way, it's like
Yeah,
a
he's a-
really cool change,
he's
and
a-
it's going to make
he's
him a
boring as hell.
lot
He's a
better
basic attack
in
dot,
mid,
pretty much.
And because we
Yeah.
generally don't like the
They
shield
turned him
ability
into a
and don't
basic
want to
attack
revert
dot
to that, and
now.
I know, like we've said, we're going to try to
With no
avoid any
escape.
further reworks, but like
With no escape.
this one.
Yeah,
When Zeus's shield is removed, he has so much more potential to
Yes.
have buffs in a lot of cool
Yes.
ways that actually let him be a flex ADC, let him actually be a better mage, and give him, just more counterplay because the shield,
So hard to balance.
unmissable shield chain
Yes.
lightning combo is just boring. So.
Yes. And let us cook a little bit on this. I think this is a really cool buff, and let's see where we go. Right? We're always willing to listen to the
Thinking about
community,
Jesus.
but I think that for the long-term health of the game, it is much healthier if we don't bring back shield 8-mile range Zeus. So,
Yeah.
There is still people in chat saying just bring back shield, and
Yeah.
we're trying to listen as much as we can, but
Make this version viable in the jungle.
Let us try this one,
go.
please, community. Let us try this
No.
one.
well, we're gonna try. This one's going
We're
out
in the
today.
chat.
There's no
I'll say it.
change,
and we'll make him viable in the jungle,
Yeah.
and it'll be awesome.
But yeah, it could also make him better in jungle too.
Yep.
And then finally,
No, I'm not
Morrigan
gonna
had
say
also
nothing.
really poor stats,
gonna
and
say,
we're
I'm
mostly
bringing back
focusing
his
around her in scaling, making her able to get to the proper level of burst she needs to. So
Yeah, and I think figuring out exactly the right scalings for gods has been
And
one
you
of the
just heard in
challenges
their
of our new
chat,
system,
other
right? 'Cause
people
we're
are
still
saying the
finding
same
the
thing.
right
You know what I'm
levels for
saying?
people.
Give him
so,
back his shield. He's crap
yeah,
right
I think,
now.
And I would say that as far as we move into our live balance, we'll expect to see a lot more changes in this type of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Scaling, tuning, potentially any gods that we've been seeing potentially tanks with too strong early base damage, or DPS gods with too strong one-shot potential in the late game. We're going to be looking around to clean some of those up. Morrigan wasn't really one-shotting anybody, and she kind of needs to sometimes, so she's getting a little bit more here. But that's it for the general god balance sections.
Good stuff. And next we have general gameplay, so that's kind of going over some of the.
Let's.
because we're on
look
PTS,
at-
we don't need to go away because we can't spoil gods.
Yeah, I think it's safe actually.
Okay, hey, we're safe.
think
Look at
it's
this.
safe.
We were very concerned about spoiling a few things, and
yeah.
and,
Yeah, productions over there got their finger on the kill switch.
So I guess we can show the card art here for.
We got new card art.
we don't. This is on the patch notes. Someone kicked me out. Maybe they shipped an update or something right now.
Dude, we're updating so fast. It's insane.
Oh,
No, you got banned.
Kabir might have turned the live server on, because then that would be pointing to live and not to.
Okay, well then we'll have to go back to dev, and production have to go back.
Or
to
we
being
could
scared.
just go into live maybe. But
Is live out?
if live is live.
See,
I
that's
thought
what
he was
happens
gonna
when
turn
you
it on.
I have to
fire out your
download it
at some point.
Download it right now on this computer.
Dude, do we want to hang out and watch the loading
This is
bar?
what you get
Yeah,
when
so,
you get
because
Groupon
we're on
employees.
PTS.
Let's look at the patch notes though. We'll
look
go
at the
back
patch
to look
notes,
at the
yeah.
ascension passes at the end and the god.
No, I'm
cards.
just-
But yeah,
Some of
so
the stuff we're going to talk about is
live
dev.
is probably live because that just broke. So if anybody just wants to go play, our feelings are not hurt. Feel free to go play. If you want to leave us on in the background to listen to us. We'll keep talking about everything. There's actually a lot of really interesting NPE stuff that we have in here that I'm excited to talk about.
we have some
but
cool stuff in this last.
But yeah, if you guys just want to go play, like, no hard feelings, like, have fun with the game. Let us know what you think. So.
Yeah.
This is some important stuff here too. So
What the hell?
updated damage number, animation, and style to be more like Smite 1. We had kind of the bouncy numbers. That's what a lot of other games do right now. There was some good chance to try that, but now we're going to get the more straight up and scattered like we did in Smite 1.
Familiar.
Pause feature is
Pause.
and it's a vote to pause. And it's got
Oh, and for Smite
I'm
2,
not going to get into all the numbers here right now,
even
but
if
you have
you
to
don't
vote to
play
pause, and
it,
then
if
it'll
you have the
display an
Ultimate
exact
Founders
timer for
Edition,
the length of the pause, and then you can
right?
vote to
Even
end
if
it
you
early.
don't play it
It had a
daily,
really funny
make sure
bug a
you at
while ago
least
that was
log
awesome.
in
And
daily
I think
so
this
you
is
can get
this
your
is just
daily diamonds.
this is not just
'cause they
huge
got
for
those
everybody
daily
playing the
rewards,
game,
right? So don't
but
forget.
especially
All you
for
gotta do is just
esports,
log in,
right? I think that
claim your
this is one of those
diamonds,
things that we
and then
really
log out
wanted to get
again.
into the last
I
update, but it
forget
just
all the
wasn't
time,
quite
so
working right.
learn from
So I'm
my
really glad that we were
mistakes.
able to get into this one. We do have a special flag on it, so
The
if
Baron
it
should be
does start
dropping
breaking
today.
stuff, we can turn it off.
Everything they talked about
and
this
then
should
hopefully
be
fix it
on
before the next
after
update
this
because we're going to be
stream.
patching.
It's a risky
Yeah.
mechanic in the way that it can
is.
interrupt.
Yeah, because
Or he's out now, yeah.
wasn't last patch. There was an issue where the game could get into a state where it was paused and there was no way to end the pause. So that was it. The game was just paused forever. So we were like, that's
Nice.
not right. Well, we'll give it a minute. We'll cook on that a little more.
Yep. So
funny.
another big feature this patch is end of match lobby stats. You'll now be able to, at the end of match lobby, click over and see your player damage, minion damage, structure damage, all the stuff you're used to in Smite 1. I would say right now that currently the stats that are displayed are very similar to Smite 1, but we do want to add additional stats in the future. This is something we're definitely excited about, but had to get the groundwork in there first. So that's
V1.
Accolades. So accolades have been adjusted to be more like Smite 1. Some of the important notes here that kills are displayed separately from accolades. So that allows you to do some different visual presentations. So allies and enemies will see the simple text form accolade. So if Dandy gets a pentakill, I'll just see Dandy got a pentakill, as opposed to the full animated
Flashing.
pentakill art.
Yeah.
I have to get the pentakill to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
if you
more
can
of
pick 'em,
like
it's gonna
a
be a whole different
reward
story,
for
right?
you for doing the thing than meant to
What's tomorrow,
communicate what has
Friday?
happened.
Maybe we'll do
So,
a-
This is
Smite
also
2
what we use in
stream
Smite 1,
tomorrow,
and this
for
makes
Smite 2,
generally
so you guys
the
can
game less
play them.
noisy.
Yes.
We'll make certain things stand out more.
If you guys want, maybe
this
I'll
also,
look into it. I'll
because
see
we
if
added
we're
this
not
sort of
doing
like
anything here at the
simpler
house,
text
if
form
not,
accolade,
maybe I'll do a
use
Smite
that
2 stream.
to bring back a variety of warning messages
give
that are in
people a
Smite
chance
1.
to
There's
play
like,
'em.
like your towers under
Because
attack.
you know
and
people
stuff
are going to
like
be insta-locking
There's
the
a long
hell out
list
of
of them. I don't have it on hand, but
Notifications.
we added back all the warnings that were
the
in Smite 1.
2,000 people that are going to be playing.
Cool. Now we're on to God Mastery badges.
Or yeah,
So
last time I
God 1
checked.
Smite 1 God Mastery badges will now be awarded in Smite 2. This is a really cool feature that we talked about
Let's see.
earlier. Please let us know if there's any
Let's see how many people are
linking
playing
challenges.
Smite
There's
2
always
right
some
now.
challenges people maybe aren't linked as the proper way they thought, or maybe there's something on our end. So let us know if these go through. But what you should be able to see is if you're linked to the Divine
Let's
Legacy,
see
you can
how
go to
many
any
people are
god
on Smite 2 right
in
now.
Smite 2, go to their loadout, go to their badges, and look for one that looks like the Mastery Roman numeral.
Players right
looks
now
like
in
the-
Smite
yeah, it
2,
looks like the one or whatever, just-
I think it'll
574.
update to what rank.
Oh, does it automatically? That's cool.
I'm not sure though.
I thought it only
We
did
had
it like once you equipped it.
When you
574.
equip that and then play in game, so
In the
you
last
know,
24 hours, they
if you're
peaked at
one of
1,500.
the 100-star
Holy
Hades
crap,
player, you can equip this badge in Smite 2, and when
Wow.
you play Smite 2 Hades, you'll have that 100 stars, and
Let's check
this is a
Smite 1.
badge that has the star feature on top of it. So you can use your other
cool.
your other badges, but then you can also show off your mastery level and
Yeah.
star count.
And this was one of the things that we
Right now there's
we said when we first
5,800
announced Divine
people
Legacy that we
playing
really
Smite
wanted
1.
to do because we
In the
wanted
last
to
24 hours,
respect
they
the
peaked
mastery
at
progress that you made in Smite 1, even though
6,200.
you
So
are
that's not
starting
bad.
over in
That's not
Smite
bad
2,
at all,
right?
compared to,
so
you know,
we wanted you to
Smite
be able to
2,
show
right?
that off, and I'm glad that we got that in and it's working now. So excited about that.
Cannot wait for the mental crit that is the 80-star Loki loading into my lobby. I'm sure that won't scare me in forever.
Everybody's
item-
playing
physically
Throne
critting
and
you as
Liberty.
well.
Item store, so now has a grid view
Yeah, we're gonna
for
talk
consumables, starters,
about
and
some
relics, right?
things
So if
after
you
this
use one
stream.
consumable
I
on the
got some
right side
information I
instead
wanna
of seeing
put
a
out.
tree or seeing just one, you'll see all of those things. So you can just buy any numbers of them from
After
that one
these guys are done
section.
jibber jabbering.
We've also added support for right-clicking to purchase and sell items if you want to. That wasn't really something that was in Smite 1, but it's a common thing in other MOBAs and other games. So people who aren't used to Smite will now have this option, and it is like it's nice. You can get used to it and use it more, even if you're very habitually trained not to. And this is now single filter by default. So when you click filters, they will no longer stack. They will change. So when I go from cooldown to strength, it will deselect cooldown and reselect strength, as opposed to double selecting them,
Good,
which
'cause
made
that
it
was-
hard to switch categories. You had to go back and
Good.
clear. We
'Cause that
do
was-
want to, in the
yeah,
future,
good.
re-add the attack to have a specific function click or something that lets you stack filters. But for now, to make this a lot more navigable,
I'm waiting to see if
this
they're
is
going to
what we're
add
doing.
auto builds.
And like there's, I believe in Smite 1, there's like a special extra little like tick that you click. Oh, it's going to play the tutorial stuff. So
Does Big Mac Boy have live data?
maybe not. But
We'll find out.
it will definitely. So it's going to autoplay the tutorial stuff when you boot in. So it's
Well,
not
a
going to
lot
be
of
loud 'cause
people
you don't
are
get audio.
asking about that actually, though. So
Yeah.
I can go ahead and
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, but
it's-
it won't have the audio.
This is
so,
this is probably the first time this account has ever logged in.
yeah. We'll give it a minute.
So some other general updates. Player levels will no longer be updated in real time on the scorecard. This was mostly a pro concern because you could use the tab screen to essentially cheat and kind of figure out where people are and what they're doing. That's removed.
Makes sense.
You can. Wait, did I already say
You
that?
did say that
here.
one. We're on combat log. Yeah, yeah.
Log.
The combat log T screen has had. I didn't want to get into too much detail here. There's still some work in progress, but
Yes.
it has had further art and design updates.
And it's going to keep getting better. This is still a work in progress screen. So.
V2, more to come.
Purchase complete.
Okay.
All right. Well, Big Mac Boy is in the game.
Big Mac Boy is in.
So let's see a few more general updates. Custom games now let you pick Conquest picks and bans. You'll do that through the map mode. So where it says Conquest, you click that and change it to Conquest picks
so,
and bans.
So you can now do like a ranked style conquest pick and ban just with the normal custom game. You don't need to like, especially for teams that are trying to scrim for esports and stuff. This is very big.
Yeah.
Then also interact, the entire interact feature. We now have a feature where the jump action is briefly blocked after touching any interact area. So no more accidental jumps if you didn't get the interact off.
It's one of those things that sounds small but makes a huge feels difference to the annoyances of playing the game.
Yeah, the amount of arena
You know what's the
situations where
biggest
you jump
annoyance
because you
of
thought you were
playing
about to
the
get a
game?
bouquet
No
and somebody
auto build.
sweeps in and takes it, and you're just like,
All right, so now we're back to this screen like we talked about before, but as you'll see, we have updated card art for Ares, Athena, Baron, Bellona, Fenrir, Hades, Hecate. We said we wouldn't get them all. This isn't all of them, but there's a huge pass of them. So Hecate has brand new card art,
Brand
fully
new.
illustrated, which is really cool. The Odin one is another one that I think is pretty meaningful. If you look at this side by side from Smite 1 Odin, it's very like, I don't know what to say. Blurry, stylized. Like you can't really see his facial features that much. So like this is brand new. But yeah,
It looks like a robot in Smite 1. I don't know why,
bit.
but
maybe it's the monocle.
Yeah.
The way they chose to do that. But he looks a lot more human. But yeah, a new card art for all of
Mordred's
these
looking
gods.
pretty good.
Mordred got his scary face. And
yeah.
But you can see there's still a few, Honor, Anubis, Kernos, Chalk that are still using the old system. Those are going to come soon. So they're in progress.
Ares.
Just while we're on this screen,
so pretty.
I'm going to jump forward a little bit just for one new player feature
typed in there,
that's here.
when are we
Is that
getting
you'll see this great for new
player-made auto
players tag,
builds?
which is currently just on 5 gods that we think are good for new players. We'll roll that out to more gods over time, but just giving new people an idea of like who you maybe want to play. So we have one god for each role tagged with this right now, and we'll probably expand it over time. But just another thing to help you get started in the game.
Yeah.
Yes, Hades did get his binate. We talked about that last
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
even in the art.
we got some updated item icons, and we got an updated Voodoo Pantheon icon.
Yeah, it's not just Baron's face anymore.
Yeah, to welcome our boy. What a beautiful.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you, QA.
We're getting hooked up.
They're gifting me
live.
things.
Well, it's also possible that was just sometimes the initial like acquisition takes a little while to process.
That's
on,
true.
on new accounts, so it might
Yeah,
just be that.
if you log in and you're expecting things,
Yeah.
they're not there the second you log in. Sometimes giving it a minute or even relogging will help resolve that issue. But
So while we're here looking at art, let's look at the Ascension
Yes,
passes.
yes.
Here is Shadow Baron.
Looks
There.
nice.
Have the,
I put my 2 bits in again.
tracker kill for
We'll see
coffin
what
kills,
happens.
naturally.
of course.
We have the
I told him when
clap,
we're getting auto builds,
the
even
objectives,
if at least for
the
arena,
god
right?
assists, the spirits consigned, number of healing spirits spawned.
Oh,
from
that's
consigned
neat.
spirits.
So it's
really
not just the
cool.
amount you've healed; it's the number. That's
How many
cool.
actual spirits you've
That's
spawned.
cool.
That's cool. So it's essentially how many effective triggers while hysterical.
More fun.
That's a cool one, India.
We have
I like
the
that one.
Onyx Baron skin.
Oh, the skull.
Yeah, it's worth the try.
We have the Opal. Oh, yeah.
the yellows.
Dude, that opal is slick.
It is. Yeah.
Dude, I feel like
This
it's
is-
like Jimmy vibes. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like
Oh, true. Psychedelic, yeah.
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
This is, of course, always fun. He's got the... he's opportunity
Rubbing
strike.
hands.
Oh
What is
yeah,
that?
dude, that's good.
see.
Dude, I love these global emotes are so good.
They are. The way he little smirk too is killing me.
Yeah, that's
cool.
what it's all about. We've got the wave,
Yep. Love it.
So stylish. Edge of
Death.
Big Mac boy.
Edge of Death is a silly one.
Yeah, that is funny. The mastery
Nice.
badge, and then finally we have Radiant.
And you know I want to see that border too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
snake.
cool.
Oh,
I love how
Bro, it
lively
ain't all
these
that.
are.
It's
That's good.
okay,
These
but it
card
ain't all
effects are
that.
so
Come
good.
on.
They are.
Calm down.
Oh,
Calm down.
so good. And
Although-
now we got to see emojis.
Oh, and there's the little skull going around too. Yeah, that's sick.
Oh
It
yeah.
ain't, that, it ain't all that.
I
Come
think
on.
are these new in this build or were they in the last build? I forget the arrows to go back and forth from god to god. I think we changed the way that whole
that might
area
have been new.
displays a little bit, maybe.
That might have been. I told the ambassadors that was new, but I might have forgot to put it in patch notes because I typed it there and forgot. But no, yeah, you can cycle through gods like this.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. You can go back to the list. It might be easier to find, but
Nah, just click.
No, I'm going to use the feature.
fine.
Yeah.
Use the feature. Gosh.
We know the alphabet.
All right, let's look at emojis real quick. Oh, nope.
Oh,
What the hell?
Okay,
What kind of
well-
emoji was
well,
that?
we got diamonds.
We got diamonds.
That might have been why.
Maybe because we were tabbing that way.
Or maybe
That's-
because we were like caught. Oh, no.
nope,
Emojis
okay,
does
well-
look.
Oh, so the emoji is
wait,
now
there
the
it goes.
There we
we
go.
go.
All
What's
right,
going
that
on?
was
Might have
weird.
been because we were in the middle of getting gifted things.
Yeah.
It had to cook a little bit.
Shadow Yemoja,
Nice.
which is for such a supportive, good aligned character. It's kind of interesting to see these
That's right. We'll get there.
evil skin, but it still looks cool.
Oh, I see somebody in chat saying ranked isn't live anymore. I think they were not turning ranked on for a little bit after we go live just to make sure the patch is stable. So it should be on probably 20, 30 minutes. I don't
Yeah,
know.
a little later,
but yeah,
but-
soon. It's not. It's an intentional. We used to do this in the early
that
days of
was-
Smite
that
just to
was
make sure
the-
nothing was
that was the
completely broken
ultimate-
when we turned the game on. And so don't freak out. We'll be back in a second.
Little stability pause.
So you get an Omi tracker here for getting the Ascension Pass.
Cool.
We have the clap.
These are not the
the
gods that
standard
you're looking for.
trackers. The River's Rebuke kills, so the wave
The
clap
wave
clap
crash.
kills.
That's crazy.
That's fun. We have the Onyx
Onyx looks nice.
Very good.
and Opal.
Ooh.
She looks like a mermaid.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the
Straight up.
mermaid one from
Yep.
Smite 1.
That's
Or not
awesome.
mermaid, the summer one, I guess
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
We have the global emote, which is the side eye.
That's so
The side
Oh,
eye. emote.
hell no.
We wanted one for the backline support to use when their team is just diving and
Yeah.
and feeding,
No.
and you're just back there like, what are you all doing? That was the
No.
kind of goal we wanted for this one.
That'll be also be perfect for like the level 1 cheese gank. Like you completely peel, you're good, and just hit him with the dog. What was that?
Yeah.
So much
excuse me.
application.
Yeah. We have the wave. The title River Goddess.
River Goddess.
Our badges
that's what I'm
and
saying.
our radiant skin.
Oh, that
That's
looks
fitting.
nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fitting.
Yeah, that looks nice.
And the water bubbles frame effect.
Oh,
Very
I
nice.
love it.
My dog would be like, bubbles.
Bubble.
Kids
I
love
mean,
bubbles.
They love
Whatever.
bubbles. It's wild.
All right, let's see. Now we're into
Cool, let's
new
keep moving.
player
The only
experience features.
reason
Cool.
I'm trying to
So,
get Thanatos
I
level 10
can talk
is
to this
for
part?
his board.
Okay, so one of the things that has not been great about Smite 2 yet is new player experience stuff because we didn't put any effort into it for the initial first close alpha patches because we thought most of the people playing were going to be Smite 1
right.
players, right? But we knew that it sucked, so it's something we needed to fix. So now when you first load into the game, you're going to get a intro tutorial video about Arena, just kind of giving you the basics of how you play the arena game mode.
Yeah.
And then you're going to play through a very short tutorial that if you've ever played Smite before, you can be like, why the hell are they trying to teach me these things? They're so dumb and simple. But it's basically like move, use your ability, escort a minion into the portal, right? It's very basic beginner stuff. But that's like the level of information that you need when you're a brand new player. Just basically like, how do I move and how do I use my abilities and stuff.
And you can't
right?
just hit escape and quit if you
Yeah,
want.
and yes, and that's what I was gonna say. For both of these, if you are an existing player, you can click to skip the video. You can escape to end the tutorial early.
Yeah.
You don't lose anything for not doing it. Don't feel like you have to do it.
Okay, good.
It's not gonna be very interesting to you. But if you do have feedback about any bugs that you face or anything, let us know. One thing I will say about and then. Also, when you click to change your mode to Conquest for the
quality
first
of
time,
life down
you're
there.
similarly
Maybe
going to get an
we're
intro
not-
video.
It's not over yet. Maybe we'll
giving
still
you
get
some
those auto
tips to
builds.
play
We'll see.
Conquest, kind of explaining the
see.
mode and giving you some tips to hopefully die less, because there's a lot of things that you need to learn to play Conquest the first time, and then have a very simple Conquest tutorial. And the main focus of that tutorial is just kind of trying to teach people how do you knock down a tower? Because the thing that we find new players get
Tutorial
stuck
for
on the
Conquest
most
makes
is
sense.
I can't
If
just run
they
under the
teach-
tower and attack it. Like I have
if
to
they
like
break it down
escort
to
these
roles
minions and like
and have
it's
that
very
video just for
confusing
this
to
role.
new
This is how
players.
you play
So that's
mid.
really the
This is how
focus
you
of that
play
one. There's some other
support.
things that it
This is
teaches
how
you,
you
but that's
play
like
whatever,
the
you
main
know
thing.
what
So
I'm
again,
saying?
if you've played a lot of
These
Smite,
are the
not
camps
going
that
to be
you're
really interesting to
expected
you.
the camp
But these are
to
core things that people
frickin'
need to see to
go
get
and
better.
get, you know what I'm saying?
The videos
'Cause
also, I'll say, are a little.
Nobody
they're a
knows
little
that crap.
comedic in nature,
And then
which
people
maybe
try to
seems a
play
little bit
Conquest
weird
as a
for
pug
Smite
group, and
to
then
some
they get
people.
crapped on
but
by
it's intentional.
experienced players,
They're
you know what I'm
supposed
saying?
to be
And then
a
they just
little
get
bit
turned
more
off to the
like
game altogether.
like a friend is teaching you how to play the game or giving you some tips to be successful, and a little bit less like, you know, welcome to the battleground of the gods. You know, like it's not supposed to be boring. It's supposed to be fun because Smite is a
Yeah,
fun
I wouldn't know
game.
what to do either.
So we tried to be a little bit
I would
mythological
go in
still
and
with
just
it,
try to
but a
kill
little bit
everybody I
more
see.
fun than
That's
we've
what I
been
would
with these
do.
things
And
in the
make
past
sure
with
that
the
minions
videos.
didn't kill my
So
towers.
hopefully you guys like the videos. You think they're interesting. There are some
But as arena
hopefully
players, I
decent
think
tips
that
in
we
there.
have the most
It's not going to teach you all the
important,
nitty gritty of
aspect
like
of it, and
you
that's
know
knowing
when
how
you
to
need
fight.
to use exact
You can
abilities or you know
learn
when to jungle
the
rotate. And, you
aspects
know,
of
like
Conquest,
that's
you know,
not the point
what
of these
towers to
tutorials.
get,
You're
what
going to learn
camps
those
you're
through
gonna
other
get.
things that
The
we'll teach
hard
later
part is
and just
learning
by
how to
playing
play
the
the
game.
characters
This
well,
is
you know what I'm
supposed
saying?
to just be like
And
the
as arena
very
players, we
beginning
got that.
intro to
It's just a matter of
how do
learning
I
how to play
not
the
embarrass
Conquest
myself
portion,
in
how to
Assault
use
and
the map,
Conquest.
and what's
Because that's what new
expected of
players
you.
really need, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember embarrassing myself in Conquest in the early days when we didn't have any tutorial when I started playing. So hopefully this helps for that reason.
Yeah, I remember embarrassing myself in Conquest yesterday. But yeah, I mean, like Alex said, we've seen y'all's consistent feedback that Smite 2 is going to be made great by working with y'all, the people who have loved it and been here with us for
Right.
years. But to push forward into the future, we also need to open the doors and invite these brand new
I almost
players. And the
did
best
that
way to
one,
do
to
that
tell you
is
the
by
truth, but I couldn't find a good
understanding that
clip.
they're going to come in at the ground
clips I had
floor, or for
wasn't
some
good.
people who don't game very often, maybe even below the ground floor. And we want to give them every bit of knowledge they need to go from, oh, that looks kind of cool, I know Zeus, to, 5 years from now being in this community and joining y'all and being in these streams and hanging out. So exciting to have it.
If this
And then
community isn't even
we showed the
around
Great for New
5 years
Players
from now.
tag that gives you that. With the targeting brackets, we saw when we were in the game, but if you remember in Smite 1, there's kind of like these big brackets that appear around a god when they're within range for you to attack them. And that's really important, especially for new players, to understand that like attacks do have a range to them. So we've moved that to the nameplates. So you can see
Yeah, I'm gonna have
get
to make
these
more
kind
of those memes.
right there. You see that the little like brackets that show up next to the
Yeah.
nameplate. Because we think those read better because you're oftentimes kind of like looking at nameplates to pick people out in fights versus looking at the character. And the character already has a red glow that appears around them when they're in range. So we felt like it was redundant to put that on the character themselves the way it was in Smite 1.
Yeah.
So that's on minions and
That's
on
another feedback I
gods.
gave them.
So hopefully that'll help people
Allied
understand better when they're in
gods,
range of hitting
spells
something.
should
Another
not
new
be
feature
red.
that you'll
They
see
should
here
never
is that
use
every
red for
god
anything
now
that
has
has to
this
do with
little
allies.
I
It
don't know
should
what to call
be
it,
blue
UI widget
or green.
This little area
Tag,
short
that-
description.
There's an
that-
AOE on
that
the
has
ground.
a very
If it's
short
red,
kind
it
of
should be
one sentence
enemies.
description
If it's
of
allies,
what
it
the
should be
hell does
green
this
or
character
blue.
do.
Yeah.
And
Make
then
it
it gives you some
like chalk with that red around them is so
specializations.
stupid.
That is what we're calling them. Yes, specializations.
damn stupid.
Which are 3 things that this character is good at. So Amaterasu is a brawler. She is a tank,
That's in
and she
Smite
buffs
1
people.
too.
If we look at on her, he is a sharpshooter. He has lockdown, which means like he can hard CC people,
Yeah.
and he has mobility. So the idea is, what are the 3 words? Like Anubis is a nuker who has lockdown because he stuns people, right? And he mummifies people in chain deathmatch. Yeah, Ares chains
looks
foes
good,
and drags
boy.
them to their death. Like the idea was, how do we just say in a very quick moment,
Fenrir
like when
looks
you're in the
good,
God
too.
Select screen.
No,
What-
sorry.
what
There's-
the-
there's a few. I saw a few bugs. I think sneaking through here. We're gonna have to do some iterations on it. But yeah.
Okay, well-
that is the TLDR.
Yes. So that's a TLDR. We might have a couple bugs, and we'll fix them.
Yeah,
but
quickly.
this is the first iteration of this system. We're also going to be adding some more clarification about what roles characters are good at in another iteration. This is the first pass. Let us know what you think. Does this make it clear to know what a character does? Because when we were looking at kind of the early previews that people were doing of Smite 2 that were way
and,
too early because the game is
something
early
I
alpha.
think they're not-
one of the most common things was like,
They might
I
not
see all these
take
gods and I
into
have no
account
idea what they
a
do.
lot of
and it's
people
so hard
have
for me to learn.
old
So,
computers
giving people just
with
some idea
old
of that
video
early game,
cards,
we thought
right?
was very useful.
Yeah, at a glance, it looks really good.
So the more crap
and then
you
the
have
conquest
on
ones, which we
screen,
showed you, there's
the more bogged down
the
the system's
signposts
gonna
that tell you
get.
which direction
So
camps
they
are.
gotta be
Jungle Buffs, and
very
there's also
careful
role
on how much
specific
crap they
waypoints.
put on the screen, right?
Those
All
are really
these
cool when you load
numbers
into the
and
game,
flashes and stuff.
especially when you have
'Cause a lot of
assigned
people's
yourself
computers
a
are
role,
just gonna
which you would
die.
have to play Conquest. It'll
They're gonna be like,
tell you which lane is your lane, and it'll give you a little
Because that
indicator
Unreal
around
Engine,
your feet
dude,
that
that
points to it, so you know where
Dude,
to go.
as soon as I turn on Smite 2, my
those are all,
computer, my
you know,
video card is like, "Wee!"
the foundational level of
And I
teaching
got a
players how to play
4090
Smite
on Liquid
beyond the
Cool, and it
tutorials.
starts
right?
screaming
Where
like
do
a
you
banshee,
go,
dude.
right? And one of the hardest
coil
things
whine is
for new players
ridiculous.
to learn Smite, if you think back to when you were a new player,
Now, of course, I got
the map
ultimate
flips
settings set
depending
on,
on what
but
side
still.
you're on. So you can't even just know, oh, I'm playing duo, I go right. No, it depends on what if you're order or chaos. So having these little things on the ground that show you where to go,
And you see duo lane in the distance.
And you see duo lane in the
through
distance.
all of the
Yeah, it just
environment
starts
art. You can
screaming.
just see
And
duo
the funny
lane.
and then
part
once
about
you
it
get to
is
the
a lot
point
of
it
it's not
says,
even being
okay, minions
used.
are going to
It's like
spawn
maybe
in 10
30%,
seconds or whatever. It
if
gives you
that.
like the
But
wait
it
here, they're going to
screams
come.
like a
Don't worry, you
banshee,
know.
dude. It's
So
crazy.
like hopefully
And
this
it only
helps
does that
like
on Smite
clarify the
2
early game
and Arc
for new
Survival
players a lot.
Evolved or Survival Ascended.
All right, so then we have a lot of
the
bug fixes.
Unreal
A lot of
Engine
bug
5
fixes,
games.
yeah.
Some of these
But
are
when we
key
just tried
gameplay
out
notes
Throne
as
and
well,
was
so
it
we
Throne
wanna
and
make sure we go
Liberty
through
the
them.
other day?
This one's
I
really
didn't
important
hear
here. This first
crap.
one is
And
body
Throne-
blocking
Throne and,
is working again.
Throne and Liberty, I believe, is
movement
Unreal
when it
Engine
comes to
5
body
too.
blocking other players and
I could be
colliding with
wrong,
them should feel
but it
much
looked
more
like it
improved and
was.
much more like Smite 1. And this also, this was
Didn't hear a peep
before
out
this
of
was
it.
fixed. This was
So
leading
I
into
don't
people
know,
like
man.
clipping inside of
Sliding
each
a
other.
little bit.
Well, it was harder to body block people. You would slide past them. You could also like clip inside of them, and that would contribute to issues like Amaterasu dashing through people again. I haven't seen that nearly as much, or I don't know if I've actually seen it yet.
Yes.
After this fix, I know people saw it last update, but I want to definitely, if people know if that happened again in this update, let us know.
Yeah, please do let us know.
Yeah, it's just
We've
not
added
optimized.
made some adjustments to server correction to make any sort of like lag
Whatever they did for
hitches,
Throne and
like,
Liberty, they
not
need to
as
do
intense.
that because I'm telling you that game
We've
runs
fixed an issue
very
where
smooth on my
targeters would
computer.
lag behind one frame at some times. So you know when you're aiming around, if
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
if that's lagging,
That's huge.
You feel that.
Yeah, it's noticeable.
We've put in some better safety measures just in case you do get into any perma bugged states where you're stuck or unable to do things. There's some better checks for that. Hopefully, ways to help you get out
Why
of
does
that.
it say God's Kong?
We've also adjusted minion clear to make it more symmetrical. There's going to be a lot more AI, bot AI stuff working on in the future,
Yes.
but we know that there's that's a good place for us to focus on. But just from last update to this one, you should see more symmetrical wave clear. Some other general bugs applying to everybody are distance line and ruler targeters were not appearing properly in arena or jungle practice mode. Vortexes were not, let's see, immobilizations no longer cause you to stop
Didn't know
moving in
Kukulkan
vortex. So
had
like
that-
vortexes
that
would
bug.
stop working if
you were
you got
immobilized, got
stunned or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I thought some other discussion of vortexes. So
I can't
that's been
tell you
improved.
it appears they fixed the
Respawning,
delay,
you would
input
see,
delay
you
on
could possibly
Kukulkan's
respawn
combos.
where you died, not in
Last
base.
time I played him, it seemed like it was fine.
Rare
They
bug,
finally
but
fixed
it was a bad one.
Still
And,
has an issue where the
Baron
Ancient
has,
Fury and
from when
Conquest
I
would
played
not
them,
regain HP when
had no
leashed.
delays in his combos. It went
All right,
pretty
here's some more
fluid,
God-specific
so that's
ones.
good.
Kukulkan fixed an issue where a slipstream enhanced dash could be stored and used outside the whirlwind area. I saw people actually saying they want to keep that. But that's been fixed, and there's more fixes.
It was a bug.
If you're not seeing your fix for your god on this list, please let us know, because there's already more fixes for a lot of these gods that aren't in this update, but we're gonna keep working on them. Thanatos. There's a lot of fixes for these guys.
Yeah.
Fixed an issue with passive reveal marker so infinite reveal. Fixed
Yeah,
that.
that sucked.
Yeah.
Fixed an issue where the heartbeat sound effects would last too long. Fixed an issue where he could press specific buttons on controller
Maybe I'll
to
do a Baron build video.
channel to
There's a
teleport
couple
back to where he
builds I was
took off
using
from.
that
So
seemed
there
to
was
be
a bunch of
working
like
pretty good.
broken states you could get into in the ultimate.
But you
right?
could only get into it when playing on controller.
Whoever's
It was not a
bumping
bug
that
we were
damn
able to
mic, they need to
replicate on
stop
keyboard and
that.
mouse. But you could like take off and then go back down and take
the
off
knucklehead
again.
in
It
the
was very
middle.
weird.
That's weird.
That'll happen.
Hopefully not anymore.
Well, no, and just in games in general.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Amaterasu, a bunch of bug fixes here. Fixed an issue where the AO3 silence was playing too late and would not play at all when dashing into a point blank range target.
Got it.
So if you were literally on top of someone when you dashed, the silence wouldn't work. Increased her movement speed during the ultimate attacks to better match the amount of distance she covers in Smite 1.
Yeah,
Fixed an
Smite
issue where
1,
the
dude, she's
AO2
almost
projectile
impossible to get away from when
size
she
was
does
too
that
small to
stupid
hit
ult.
gods that are knocked up max
Oh,
height. Increased
okay.
the height,
Yeah.
Right, it's the max Bacchus flop. But Yeah, that one's a pain. We have to manually configure all those to make sure we don't miss any, and I missed that one. I'm sorry. Fixed an issue where the AO3 was knocking back minions in Smite 1. It does not do that, so it does not do that in Smite 2. Helps her 3-2 clear combo. Fixed an issue where the first basic attack felt slightly too slow, so it's going to hit a little earlier in the animation.
Got it.
Fixed an issue where the refire was blocked by CC and could be interrupted by CC. Her AO2 refire, her mirror refire should always work, right? And you can also choose to shoot it and aim it in certain CCs.
Yeah.
So that's been fixed.
Emails.
And we've also fixed an issue where the basic attack was playing randomized swing sounds. This was a big one.
Yeah,
it's just a common configuration thing. You
feels
can
thing.
randomize sounds, or you can play scripted sounds. And when it was playing, you know, it's the strikes are very synced up to the 1 2 3 1 2 3. And when you would just get a random 1 1 3 1 2 1, you were just like, what the hell is going on?
That's wrong.
Yeah. Odin fixed an issue where his wall collision and his ultimate would persist slightly too long. Fixed an issue with the ultimate projectile being really, really slow, chasing enemies. Fenrir fixed an issue where Seething Howl was not applying mana cost at the right time, and this could give you... This was one of the ones that could give you like infinite.
When I alpha tested him
super
last
fast
week,
basic
he
attack,
did feel very
bug.
smooth.
Fixed an issue
I
with
was very
Brutalize
happy
could
with
follow
the way
some
he
leaps
felt.
through the air, only on high ping. I never saw that one. That's funny.
They did a good job with the Baron.
Fixed an issue where his ultimate ability could permanently stun enemies. That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Fixed an issue where he was having jittering issues with using Brutalize on Instacast. Jingwei fixed an issue where she could cause jungle buff camps to not respawn. Some of these are
Unto
rare, but
extinction.
bad ones,
Yeah.
right? Like if that happens to you, that's
That
just
sucks.
Really?
big,
I didn't know
bad.
that.
Yeah, that's like, oh.
Fixed an
Good.
issue where Soul could sometimes get locked out of using
that
her
sucks. That means
Stellar
I probably
Burst.
had freaking
Fixed an issue where her
builds
ultimate was
that were
hitting
working well. It's
AoE.
just
I remember a
thought
lot of
they
people talking
sucked,
about
so I
that
took it
one.
out. I'm gonna have to
Fixed an
redo my
issue
builds
where
now.
her repel magic was being charged more than intended from other gods.
I mean, I was
Hades
only
fixed an
playing
issue with the
Cuckoo
ultimate
anyway, so
vortex
it's like-
ignoring slow immunity, so you
And
no
the Baron.
longer be
But
able
I
to
can't remember I
immune
used it on the
vortex
Baron, and I
with
have to
slow
look.
immunity.
which is
That was the other thing I was thinking about when I read the
Yes.
vortex line.
There
but
it
I, don't,
is.
I, should have put it.
We
yeah.
made
So
it.
so you can't just run out of Hades ult because you're slow immune anymore.
Right. The
Polynomicon,
Morrigan
I'm gonna
fixed
tell
an
you right
issue
now,
where the Dark
Polynomicon,
Omen
the
proc
Baron
wasn't
works
killing enemies
very
and
well.
leave them instead at 1 HP.
Very
Fixed an issue where
well.
she obtained a kill.
Especially after a round.
While de-transforming, the kill would count as an assist.
And
That's really
Smite
funny.
2.
And Chalk fixed an issue where he could actually use his torrent to go back to base and then recall back to lane if you did it really perfectly.
Yes.
Item store fixes. Fixed an issue on PS5 where navigating highlighting could become broken. Fixed an issue where changing casting modes would cause clients to crash. Fixed an issue with the report screen either soft locking or not working. Fixed an issue where ranked leaderboards weren't showing ranks subdivisions. Fixed an issue where after trading the names and card art would show the previous god. Fixed an issue on the end of match
that's an
lobby
easy
where the
auto.
player mastery
Well, the funny
experience bars
thing
would
is-
slide off the screen.
Did
At
we
least for
talk about their
PC,
stats
you have
on
to
the
hit
match
your
lobby?
attack and
Yeah,
then
we
you have
did.
to
Yeah.
initiate
All right.
with
Just
an
didn't show
auto
it.
anyway.
Okay.
There's been a lot
And
of
what
talk.
happens
Yeah, I was
is
like-
when
I was
you
like, wait,
do
did we
that,
talk about
it
that?
automatically
Yeah.
sends that basic
So a lot of
attack.
audio
the snake
fixes,
hits, and
fixed
then
an
you
issue
hit him
with
with
buff
the auto
drops
right
being
afterwards.
too loud in jungle practice,
So,
fixing the
New
talents
Walls
with
the same
purification
way.
being too
That's
loud
why
on multiple allies, fixing
on
issues with
combo
below
guys
the
like that, it's
bludgeon,
always good to put.
fixed issue with the level
I mean,
up
if
sound,
you can,
fixed
if
issue
it,
with
if
Loki's
it
basic
fits your,
attack hit volumes were
your
too
build,
quiet,
it's good to
Soul's
use
ultimate too quiet,
Polynomicon.
fixed an issue with the level up audio
At least
heard,
like in the third
even when set to
position
zero,
or later.
fixed an issue with other players could hear the surrender button
Yes.
when it was clicked on. Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was a weird
Yeah,
one.
that was weird.
And then some VO changes to the skins, Fire Giant,
no,
Buff
think
Belt.
so.
Some of these
In
we
fact,
didn't have
I was
time to
doing a
reword
new
into
wall.
full.
I'm
Fire
working
Giant
on a new
loud
wall video
issue
right
Buff
now.
Belt.
I got a new.
sorry.
I mean, what else do
build
you
for
need?
Smite
We put them in a
Literally,
rough
the
in a
Smite
rough
2 one
text
works
form.
fine.
Loud
we have
issue
to go
bad.
back and clean them
Yeah.
up. So like you
Yeah,
know,
the Smite 2 one
Fire
works really
Giant
fine.
issue
Olivia
loud
was
bad. Why use
telling me
more
that
word?
she was kicking butt
Yeah.
with it in Smite 2.
fixed Amaterasu's skin was using some wrong voice
I
lines
was
on
doing
the
well with
honor
it
roll
myself
skin.
too.
And then finally, item
month.
But
fixes.
this morning
This
I
is the
just
last of the patch
finished out
notes.
a
So
Smite
those of you who
1
don't like hearing
new
me
wall
talk
update.
will finally be free.
I just
Fixed an
gotta
issue
do
where
the
sometimes
intro
item
on it. I'll
passes
probably
weren't
have it out
applying
here in
when
a couple
exiting the
days.
fountain. That was a pretty big
Maybe
one. We know
tomorrow.
that caused a lot of issues. Fixed issues with on-hit effects
not
breaking
abandoning
mezzes
Smite 1,
early.
dude.
This now functions like Smite 1. So item effects will no
Smite
longer
2 is just
break
not fun for me more than
mesmerize.
3 or 4
so
games.
Hecate Soul Reaver, right, is
As
back.
of right now.
Got it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Fixed an issue with items like Deathbringer were not dealing the right amount of damage if purchased in the wrong item slot. That's wacky.
That's a weird
That is
one.
very
Yeah.
wacky.
I wish I could talk to someone so I know why. Why?
Hey, that good Titan Talks info.
Polynomial
Oni Hunter's Garb, this one was really
hella
bugged.
powerful,
Fixed
especially
issue
if
where
you
it was
use like
allowing
all
more
the
stacks
buffs,
than
like the
intended, and
roses
fixed
and all
enough for
that.
ticky. You'd actually
Dude, it just does
could
so
make
much
you
damage.
take more damage.
You
So it
combo
was doing a
it
lot
with
of
your
weird things.
Yeah.
your soldiers blow up, and
the
then
Reaper,
that Polynomicon,
and this one was just
is
not
just
working.
nasty, dude. It's like
Yeah.
one shot.
Whew. I thank you for reading all that.
Yeah,
I
really
did not-
appreciate that, AJ.
I don't think I would have been able to do
you
that.
burned a trail through those.
That was
impressive.
pretty fast, right?
I
It
have to
was,
look
yeah,
at
you
it.
did great.
It's
We got through
hard
that in
to
like an
do
hour because I
a,
took like a half hour
a
to
heavy
talk to
defense
finish.
Anything we wanna
cuckoo
look
because
at,
the
or you wanna
passives
take- you
on
wanna-
the main items. I know
So the one thing I want to say, there was one chat thing
They
that
don't
kind
have
of keeps
the
coming up. It's like,
benefits
I bought
like
the
in
Founders
Smite
Pack
1,
and I
so
don't
I'll
have the
have to
new
look at
gods
it
unlocked.
again.
Give it a couple minutes.
It's taking a little bit longer.
You know,
'cause I gotta do
like
a lot more
the way
analyzing.
that our new tech works, sometimes it can take a few minutes
me,
for the
right
things
now,
that
the
you
build I'm
own
using
to
for
process
Cuckoo is an
properly.
all damage,
on
and
first login
I destroy
after an
with it.
update.
I do like 15,
So,
20 kills.
if you ever
I mean,
find that you don't
I
have
know
a
what the
thing,
damage is,
wait
but
5 minutes.
I
If you
will
still don't
pass
have
with
it, relog, and if you still don't have it, then it might actually be an issue.
Yes.
Hit us up. We'll help you out.
But yeah, we
There's
definitely don't
different
want you to not have the
passives in
things. You
Smite
should have
too.
the things. But generally, give it a couple minutes. I know it's not great. We're working on that, but that is a quirk of the system right now. So.
Ruin
Yeah.
doesn't even
Overall,
arc
though,
in
a
Smite
great
2,
show,
right?
y'all.
It
I
just
mean,
gives
I'm
anti-hero.
gonna real quick talk about modes
arcs.
too, because I saw a lot of people talk about modes over
Which sucks.
this time period.
talk
Actually, I'm
about
gonna talk about two things. We're talking modes and skins real quick.
Modes and skins.
Okay, so modes. Joust is still the next mode on our roster. We are completely re-arting Joust. It's not going to be a Joust map.
I don't even have Odysseus.
It's not going to be a Joust map that's ported over directly from Smite 1. The layout, I believe, is very close to the Chinese Joust that everybody loves, but the art is going to be completely new. So because the art's going to be completely new, it's going to take us a little bit longer to get that map out to you because it's going to be awesome. And it's going to be beautiful.
Is Joust the
So it is the first thing we're
3v3?
working on. It just is
where you
coming.
can't back?
And we're planning on putting duel on that map as well.
Yes. So we'll have both Joust and Duel. Assault, I know that rough ETA, I would say not in the next couple months for Joust because it is a big arc of work. But it's the thing that we're working on, and we're going to show off more of it. So, I don't know if that makes waiting easier or harder, but it is the thing that we are working on right now. The Assault is our next biggest priority.
Assault is the one where you
but
get a random
we know that
god
people don't
and
really
you
want to
can't
wait
back, right?
for the full time for us to make a new Assault map.
I think I played like once or twice.
What we're
in
currently
my
thinking that
last
we're going to do,
10 years.
and again, this is still a few months away, but just because people are going to ask about it,
You like
Do the big spoiler, huh?
no, but this isn't a huge spoiler. I don't think. Is this too big of a spoiler?
No, go for it.
So I
Spoiler away.
That's me. For Assault, the idea is that we're going to do the Assault rule set on either a cut down version of the Conquest map or on a cut down version of the Joust map. So you'll be able to play Assault with maybe some interesting little rule tweaks. Probably not too much because Assault is what it is, but just not on its own truly unique map.
It's going to be a true all random, all mid
Yes.
Conquest map.
Truly.
Which I think is exciting.
I think it's cool, and we were talking about the ambassadors, and they had some interesting ideas for like
it'd
maybe
be
some
cool
little
if
gameplay
they made
tweaks
an
that we do to
arena
make it
where
interesting
it's like
on that map. So I'm
random
pretty excited about
picks.
it, but
So you go in
that
there,
also will be
and
kind
it
of
just
coming probably
randomly
along the
gives you a
same
god,
timeline
and that's
that we
the god
get
you gotta
Joust into
play,
the
or
game.
you can
So,
trade with your team.
And again, I don't think
If they
people
had
really
that,
want
I
to play
think
that
that'd
much
be
Assault
pretty
until
cool.
we get to around 50 gods. So I
Call
would
it
say
hardcore
probably
arena or
around that same
something.
time frame is when you get Assault.
Yeah,
Make
give
it
you
its
variety.
own little thing. So you
And
got
then
regular arena, ranked arena,
let's
and
see.
hardcore
I think there were,
arena.
skins was the other thing. So some people are like, when do we get our cross-gen skins that we
That'll
purchased
keep
in Smite 1 or
These people from
for,
playing the
that aren't
same
already
gods
released in
over and
Smite 2.
over for 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
We said this when we I think the last update we said this, that we were going to be focusing more on gods and we were going to be pausing skin production.
Yep.
The thing that is enabling us to get to 50 gods very quickly is
Yeah,
that we
I
are
think so
not
too.
spending time working on skins right now. We will be bringing all those skins over. We haven't forgotten about them, but we feel like the thing the community wants most right now is getting a lot more gods quickly.
Yep.
And we can't both do a lot more gods quickly and bring over all of the cross-gen skins immediately.
Well, hell,
So does that
especially if
apply
they-
to the
if they
most
fired
recent
half the
Smite
crew.
1
You know what I'm
cross-gen
saying?
skins?
They got
so
double
I
the
believe
work
the
now.
ones that are,
I mean, that
think
makes
those ones are
sense.
actually like the ones from the most recent Battle Pass. I think are done and are in Smite 2 already.
Okay.
But if you don't see it in Smite 2 right now,
He's an Odin.
it's probably the Hades and Odin one, right? From the
why
last
would,
battle
why
pass.
would we
After that.
continue to make skins that make
pretty much
us
anything
money?
that you don't see in Smite 2 right now. There may be a couple skins that were like almost
can
done
just
that
put out
we end up
more and
finishing or
more
whatever.
gods
But pretty much anything that you don't see in
that
Smite
don't
2
make
right
us
now
anything.
in terms of skins won't be
I mean,
coming
it's-
in the near term because we're
You gotta-
focusing so
it
much
depends
on
on where you're
gods.
thinking. If you're
And we know
thinking
that,
if you're thinking
we
from
need
a
to make the
business
core game
aspect,
amazing
I'd like to
before
keep
we
that cash
try
cow
and
coming,
sell
you know
you
what
any
I'm
shit
saying?
that you probably
I would put a small
I'm sure
team
you
still
would
working
enjoy,
on
but, like,
skins.
you aren't
that's
going to enjoy it if the
allow
game's
people
good.
to buy.
So
that's
we need
gonna
to make the
bring
game good.
revenue
We
to
need
the
to ship more
company.
gods. We need
and
to
keep a
focus on
small team
the
working
core
on the
things
gods,
that
you know what I'm
matter
saying?
most right now. And then
mean,
we'll focus
who the
on
hell's
bringing
running this
over
shit,
more
dude?
skins and bringing over all new skins and that kind of thing. So
I have the end of match lobby pulled up, I think.
Yeah, I've been
cool.
asking about
Let's
random
switch to
arena
the
maps
game
forever,
then and see
dude.
it.
It's it's cut off because of the way
Arena
the
can be like
production does it, the
Overwatch,
filter.
right?
yeah.
So
There we
when
go.
you
Yeah, so
load
it's
into
not a full
it,
team 'cause
and
I was
then
just
you're in
gonna
the
solo
loading
custom 'cause I'm
screen,
live, I
then the
can't cheat and
background
stuff,
can
but
give
you
you a
can-
hint of
Player
what
level,
arena you're
KDA,
going
GPM,
into. I think
damage
that
is
would be
player
really
damage,
cool, you know?
minion damage,
Like
jungle
arena
minion
in
damage,
space,
structure
or
damage,
arena
damage
in
taken, damage
underground,
mitigated,
in the
self-healing,
hell,
ally
arena
healing, and wards
in
place.
the
got the
heavens.
numbers.
You
And-
know?
You'll be able to see this color-coded blue and red for the
Arena and
teams. You'll see all
frickin-
10 players here.
and Thor's
And
world.
I'll say, like, this is very much a first draft of this screen, and we shipped this screen early because we knew you wanted the numbers, right?
They could bring-
Like, there's a
Yeah,
lot
we
of
get a lot
things
of
that
UI art
out of
updates.
skins.
this needs to like one of the things we want to do is like either alternating colors on the rows or something to make it easier to scan that, like
Yeah.
putting a highlight on
Instead
your
of putting out
row,
3 guys,
like
just put
all
out
that
2
stuff is stuff
guys
we're
and
aware
then
of and we're going to do, but we
put
wanted
the
you to
extra
get the
guys on
numbies in
skins. I
game
mean, come on.
sooner, so we shipped something sooner because we're in alpha and we should be doing that. We should be shipping things,
Yeah,
and getting your
exactly,
feedback on
like
them
Eye of the
and
Storm.
making them better. So this is
function.
another example of that.
Inform.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah,
there's been
we
some
could probably-
questions coming up of stuff we talked about earlier. So
Yes,
if you're coming late, maybe go back in the VODs or.
yes.
We got numbies.
Awesome. Well, hey, I just want to say, like,
Yeah.
again,
Good spot to stop though.
yeah, we'll wrap it up. I know most people are
we
probably
could go
playing the game at this
forever.
point, and you know, but you
I
know,
think it'd be
I'll
funny
say
if they had like
thank you
weapons
to the
that
community
like,
for you
like
know,
get thrown
for
on the
watching
ground.
this, you know,
and
for
you can just
listening.
run, pick it up,
like
and
we
just
said
like
at the
chunk
beginning,
a
it's been a
wrench
rough
at
week,
somebody
but
or a spear or
we
something.
remain very excited
That would
about
be
Smite
something
too.
different. You know what I'm saying?
If
So
yeah,
a
I
guy
think
like
tomorrow is
Cerberus
going to be
that has no
me and
range
Isaiah's
attack
first
can pick
not
up a
Smite
spear
2
from the ground that the
our
audience
first
threw in,
talk,
or from a
what
weapons
was it
rack,
called?
Alex,
and
can't
just
change
do a
it. Talk,
one-time chunk at somebody for like 50
yeah,
points
Yeah,
or 100
I think we would
points,
get sued if we actually called it that,
I
so we
think
should
that'd
probably
be
not.
pretty cool.
True. Don't want to get sued. Not really.
Yeah, I see Jessica being like, don't do that. That's a horrible legal idea. But
A lot of people asking for us to make official Big Mac Boy stuff, and for obvious reasons, that'd be illegal as well.
yes.
Like,
Also,
that's a-
we do not actually own the copyrights to Big Mac, and
Yeah.
we are not a big enough company to be able
it's
to be
just
sued
a,
like that.
a random player username.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, but no. Isaiah and I will be talking to you guys 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you know we'll be talking
Yeah, they
about
don't wanna get-
your feedback
they
and
don't wanna
what you
get
guys
sued
like
by
and what you don't like and
McDonald's.
what you're feeling, and like we'll be reading and interacting with chat the whole time. This isn't a show that we're going to come to with like, here's a full hour of us planned things to talk about. It's like, no, we're going to be interacting with you guys. So
No, that's the point.
Tell us
Here's
what
a
you think. Tell us
whole
what you're
hour
feeling.
of things
and
we did not plan
we
to
want
talk
hear
about,
it.
and we just
And
ramble for
you know,
freaking 2
I'm sure we'll
hours.
have a few things we want to talk about every patch or every show, but not. It's you know, it's a show for you. It's not a show for
They'd
us.
fire
So,
you
Yeah, it's an
next
open
year.
platform
Yeah,
to
right?
come and talk
Hell,
to
they'd
us.
fire
and
me
have that
the
open
second
line of
week I was there. They'd be like,
communication. So,
"Oh,
again,
hell
we've gone over a
no.
lot of crazy stuff.
This
but
fool does
end of the
not
day,
hold
we're
back.
moving
He's fired.
faster. We're trying to strike at the heart of all these issues y'all are bringing us, and we're just trying to make Smite the best thing it's ever been because
Yeah,
we
'cause
love this game.
I don't
So,
sugarcoat
Again,
nothing,
thank y'all
dude.
too
I
for
tell it
coming and
how it
hanging out and
is.
talking through all this amazing
My
stuff
theory is
today.
if you don't know what's
and I guess it's
broken,
time to
how
go
the hell you
start
gonna
playing
fix it, right?
Smite 2, update
The
CA3.
Smite 2 memes are already flowing.
oh god, yeah. I
Max
think
that'll be
photoshopped
fun.
one for real.
We are-
Me and Alex sitting with Haley.
That's
I feel like
CEO would
the
not like
Reddit
me. I'd
is
tell
just
him
going to be
straight up.
overwhelmed with the memes.
And I will upvote all of them.
Yes,
So-
but yeah, again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for listening to the show today. You know, we do this every day because of you, and you know, it's really an honor to make a game that so many people care so much about, and you guys wouldn't be so upset about things if you didn't care and love the game, and you know, the same way we do, maybe even more for some of you. You know, so I really do.
Yeah,
appreciate
don't
you all.
run
So
off
thank you.
after the
Yeah,
stream. I
thank
got
you,
some
everybody.
stuff to
Thank
put
y'all
out.
too for being here, and we will see y'all in the next one.
Unless you're a
Bye,
console
Smite
player,
fam.
then you can do what you want.
Made in Georgia.
All right. So, as you guys see, a lot of drama at High Res, man. And they're trying to sugarcoat things and they're being very careful in what they say, but there is a lot of drama going on, dude. High Res is hemorrhaging money, dude. They're hemorrhaging money. And anytime anybody that's ever been to any type of business course knows that as soon as a company starts hemorrhaging money, the biggest influx of income they can make is by laying off people, right? I mean, think about it. If you got 5 people making 100,000 a year, you fire 5 people, and you just made, $500,000 instantly. Now, of course, you got to make sure that they're not your bread and butter type peeps. You know what I'm saying? So that's very, to me, that is very concerning. Because this is not the first time they fired people, man. They've done a couple of firings throughout the year. I remember seeing an artist saying his goodbyes beginning of this last year on freaking Twitch, on Twitter. So it's been happening. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you right now that if you have not purchased the Founders Edition as of yet, I still have codes for Steam. I still got codes for PlayStation 5, and I still got codes for Xbox available. I personally, unless you just want to start your progression or whatever, because I don't think when you use these codes, it just allows you to play the game. It doesn't allow you to keep your progression, I don't think, because it's not Founders Edition codes. It's just Smite 2 codes. But with that said, if you want to, it's understandable if you haven't bought the Founders Edition yet because of the uncertainty in the game. If the game is even going to be released by the end of the year, it should. Because if this game fails, high res is done, dude. I'm telling you that right now. High res, in my personal opinion, will cease to exist if Smite 2 flops, or another company like Amazon Games or something will come in and buy them. One of the two. But with that said, if you haven't bought the Founders Edition and you're still wanting to try Smite 2, come into my Discord and send me a freaking a DM. And if I have codes left, I'll hook you up. Now, that new game, Deadlock, right? There's a new game that's being alpha tested right now called Deadlock. And I can been invited to alpha test it. With that, because I'm going to be testing it, I have the ability to invite people to also come join in the play test on it, right? But unfortunately, Deadlock is only for Steam players. So if you're interested in checking out, and Deadlock is a very interesting concept. For one, it's made by Valve, which pretty much owns Steam, right? Steam owns Valve. Valve's been around since I was a kid, dude. So back then when the dinosaurs roamed, right? So Valve had, for us OGs, we remember Half-Life, Half-Life 2, Counter-Strike, and I guess they came out with Counter-Strike 2, Counter-Offensive, all this other crap, right? But the OG was Half-Life was the OG, right? Back when I was in middle school, I think it was, or high school, back when you actually had to freaking go to wait at the stagecoach post to go bus to school, right? So this new game, Deadlock, is very interesting. Yeah, it was awesome. It's a mixture between a MOBA and a third person shooter, right? So I haven't played it yet. Like I said, I just got the entry today. I just downloaded it. I haven't even logged into the damn thing, right? But from what I saw, it had a MOBA type map, and you have the lanes you work like you do any MOBA, but you're actually firing in a third person type game. I mean, it's almost like predecessor, I guess, to an extent, maybe not even. So it's a very cool concept, the way it sounds. I haven't tried it yet, but I did see a video kind of it with no sound. And it looked like the graphics were kind of like Overwatch-ish, right? Or Team Fortress 2 or TF2. So for anybody that's played that, kind of similar to those graphics and Overwatch combined, I guess you would say. So it's very interesting. So if you want to be invited to play Deadlock, right? If you want an invitation to Deadlock, go into your Steam and send me a friend invite, because I can only invite people that are friends with me on Steam, right? So just go into Steam and put Darkgarza all together, just like I typed it in the chat. Here, I'll type it in again for those that weren't paying attention. Just type it just like that in Steam and send me a friend invite. As soon as I get that, then if you can, come into my Discord and let me know that you sent me a friend invite and this is your name, right? In Steam, so I know who it is. Because I'm only doing this for my Reapers. I'm only sending invites to my Reapers. I'm not advertising that crap out to, I could care less about other people. You know me, I'm all about taking care of my Reapers for supporting the channel. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those instances where I can do that. So I don't know how long this play test is going to work. I don't know if they're going to end up cutting it off. So if I send you that invite, at least hurry up and download the game so you get your foot in the door, just in case they cut off the ability to invite people. Now, another cool thing about this is once you get into the game, once you take this invite from me and get into the game, you're going to have the ability to invite your friends. So it's almost like a freaking multi-level marketing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get my invite, and then you're going to have the ability to invite your friends on your Steam account. So, do what you will with that. You know what I'm saying? But don't sleep on it. If you have, relatives or friends that you want to play with or try this game out, make sure you give them those invites fast, because I don't know if they're going to end up having a cutoff, on how many people they want actively playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, those servers, it's in, like I said, in alpha state. So a lot of these servers, I don't know how many servers they have, but Steam is a big, we're not talking high res now. We're talking, Valve, Steam, they got hella clout, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure they have a lot of servers. But there could always be a cutoff. Like I said, this game has not been released. When you log again, it'll tell you this game is in hella alpha. It's still in playtest mode. So if you like that game, if you play it and you like it, let me know in the Discord. I'm going to make a room for it in Discord. Let me know in our Discord, and maybe that'll encourage me to want to play it more, I guess, or put more emphasis on it. I would like to try it out on stream with our Reapers, right? At least, I don't know what a full party is, probably 5. If we can get 5 people that play it, maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do it tomorrow. It's probably too late today. But worst case, it's going to be another one of those games that we have, in our arsenal, just in case we get bored with Smite one day. We can just switch over to that. You know what I'm saying? Now that Throne and Liberty we downloaded, was it yesterday or day before? And I did an initial stream on it when I tried it out. There's some things about Throne and Liberty is very popular right now. It's probably like in the top 5 on Steam or something like that, right? I wouldn't be surprised if there's like over 200,000 people playing it on Steam right now, right? But there's some aspects to Throne and Liberty that kind of turned me off to the game. So why might, if we have enough of, I would love to play with our peeps if we had enough people playing it, maybe here and there, maybe do a stream just to sometimes during the week to play it, just to hang out and play it. But there's some things that turn me off to the game. One is very time consuming in order to build up, and I don't have the time like that. It's another World of Warcraft pretty much. I don't have the time to devote that much time into that game, right? Secondly, it has a play to win type aspect. So from what I understand, even though it's a free to play game, people that have deep pockets can, spend money and get advantages that people that don't have the money to play can't have. And the fact that it's a PvP and PvE game, that PvP aspect of it, play to win, is a total turnoff for me, dude. Because if it's not fair for everybody, then that's bullcrap. You know what I'm saying? You got to level 22 yesterday? Yeah, I haven't played it since we did our last stream. And 3, the server we were on, some jackass took my name, so that kind of pissed me off. So now I'm Darkgarza 01 on there, so I'm going to have to send you a new friend invite. But anyway, that's enough rambling on. Again, if you want to check out that Deadlock game, go ahead and send me a friend invite in Steam. I'm going to plan maybe do a Deadlock type stream maybe tomorrow, or I don't know, dude. Maybe tomorrow we'll do it. Maybe we'll do a quick Smite 2 for a little bit, and then we'll go into a Deadlock or vice versa. I would love to test it out on stream so other people can see it. The only thing I don't like about Deadlock at this point, because of the fact that hella alpha right now. I mean, it's at the beginning stage. We don't even know when that game's going to come out, right? Is the fact that it's not cross-play from what I understand right now. From what I understand, it's only Steam based at it. And you know, a lot of our Reapers play on PlayStation and Xbox. Another reason why I kind of like the Throne and Liberty, because it's already cross-gen, and a lot of our people can play that. So those are the 3 games I'm going to be looking at right now to check out. Even if it's like random streams that are there, it's going to be actually 4 games. Smite 1 is no changing. Every Tuesday, unless something changes, we're going to be doing Smite. So Smite, we're going to be staying with. I'm not quitting Smite 1. Smite 2 is going to be periodic. At this point in juncture, I can only play Smite 2 for like maybe 3 or 4 games, and then I get bored with it. And I'm not going to stream anything yes, goodbye, Sarboom, right? That was my name that they gave me on freaking Throne and Liberty. But anyway, so Smite 2, as of right now, we might stream it on and off, but don't expect to see too many streams on it. But I will be doing build videos for both Smite 1 and Smite 2. In fact, my next build video is going to be for Baron for Smite 2, and that's probably going to come out like very soon. New wall for Smite 1 I got coming out. I just got to do the intro on it, so I'll have that out here soon. That new wall build for Smite 1 worked out really well, dude. I was doing consistently over 40k, 50k damage with that build. It was nasty. So it worked well, even after all the freaking nerfs they keep doing, right? Throne and Liberty is going to be on and off, dude. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind on that one yet. And like I said, that what the hell I said, Deadlock. It all depends. I haven't played it yet, but if it's anything like TF2 or Half-Life, I think it's going to be fun. If it becomes cross-gen, is definitely going to be another one to keep in our arsenal. Okay, so that's pretty much it, man. That's enough rambling. Again, and then for those that were asking me about my my cooking videos, my freaking gamer food feasts like the gods type videos. Today I went out and I bought a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to be doing a ribs video. Is going to be coming out. I'm going to be making a homemade mashed potatoes. I'm going to show you how to make homemade mashed potatoes. That's going to be coming out. What the hell else I was going to do? A couple other things, but those are going to be the 2 big ones. Reaper ribs, and I got my good barbecue sauce, and I got my good seasoning. So these are literally going to be my Reaper ribs. So. And they're a little, if you like spicy food, you're gonna like these. And then the homemade mashed potatoes, dude. I see so many people buying those powder crap, dude. That's not good for you. So I'll be doing that. And yes, stew. I'm gonna be doing a stew too. So I got the stuff for the stew. The chili, I'm gonna wait until November to do the chili, because it gets colder. Usually here in the United States, you make chili in the colder months. So I think I'm going to wait to do the Reaper chili next month. So we'll do that. But that's going to be another series to the channel. So if you see something crazy like that, you know, like food, like Reaper ribs and stuff, that's part of my series I'm calling Gamer Food Feast Like the Gods, right? And the whole reason behind that series is because I know a lot of gamers do, especially adult gamers that work all day or even stay home taking care of their kids all day, don't have that. Man, at the end of the day, you're worn out and you start ordering that DoorDash, dude. I was spending over $1,200 a month, $1,200 to $1,500 a month on DoorDash when I was in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Ever since I started, cooking, doing these easy to make meals that I was ordering out, you know what I'm saying? It just, you're gonna see how easy. You saw the chicken wing ones, how easy it is to do it, right? So it'll save you a lot of money. Now take that money that you save and keep it to the side and stop buying these stupid PlayStations and Xbox and buy your freaking gaming rig, right? Because I'm telling you, a PC, you can use PlayStation controllers and Xbox for PC, you know what I'm saying? Unless there's a, PlayStation only game that you can buy. And even then you probably can get an emulator and play it anyway. But anyway, enough rambling. All right. So keep an eye out. We'll probably end up doing a stream tomorrow unless something happens here at the house. Appreciate everybody coming out. And that's pretty much it. Again, if you want a Deadlock invite, make sure that you send me a friend invite on Steam. For all y'all that are new, make sure you hit the subscribe. I'm Darkgarza, your OG on the GC. We'll catch y'all tomorrow.